Hi.
All right, I added Judy and myself. How the fuck did that happen?
I was about to say it was just me for a second there. So,
Jesus Christ, dude! Like, I hit both of them. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, so everyone, welcome to the final 2024 edition of Metalheads Unite. If you don't know, we usually take this time after this week of right before Christmas, and then leading up to after the new year, we always prepare for our end of the year review stuff. So that usually takes us a little while to compile all that. Of course, Chris I think has a heads up on me with one of his segments already. So he's a little bit ahead of me. So
yeah.
which
Thankfully, I've got spreadsheets and Word documents and stuff that I've been updating in real time. So, so hopefully sifting and sorting through that stuff won't take too long. And I am going to have to make a little bit of an addition to one of the segments we got going on. I've already put a lot of work into, but like I said, like I told you last night when I realized what was going to have to happen, I was like, I got a plan. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But when I found out, I went, damn it! So because the way I have it set up right now, I mean it's exactly where I wanted it. And then when I found out what happened, I was like, oh come on, man! But it'll be fine. It'll work out, and it'll all be good. But
it's fine.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We're coming to the end of our fourth full year.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like we've been doing it for 4 years already.
It does not.
It's crazy.
So, I'll take a moment at the end of the show to say some thank yous and all that good stuff. We'll once we get through the show, I'll make sure I get all that out of the way. And then of course probably with guests and stuff, we'll probably wind up repeating that in the year end review, but that's fine. I don't think we can I don't think we can tell them thank you enough for taking a moment to come on and talk to us and all that. So I'm sure you feel the same way. We can probably tell them a million times, but it wouldn't be enough. So
right, yeah, I totally do.
Yeah. So speaking of which, I want to take a moment to let's see, where's this at? I thought I had this. Go here and do it. Okay, I can go here and do it. So, if you're a user of Spotify, you get your year-end wrap stuff for the music you've listened to and all that good stuff.
Right.
But as a creator, they also let us know how we're doing as creators. So I wanted to kind of share. I want to try to share some numbers with you guys just to let you know kind of where we are and how we're doing and all that good stuff. So
yeah, and I don't even know these, so this is going to be a surprise.
Yeah, because it's kind of under my my group account. So
yeah.
So okay, I don't need this.
But it'll be interesting to hear.
Well, if it pops up, it would be. I think I've seen where like a lot of people was having to deal with Spotify because of the year-end review stuff. So,
okay.
But anyway, I'm just waiting for it to load. I don't know why it's giving me shit over there, but interesting. Let me do this. Copy it here and stick it in.
Hi, Amy. Just popped in to say hi. Hello, aloha. Yeah, it's like Jason said, it's strange that we're working our way down to the end of our fourth year. Pretty crazy. Before we get into this too, while Jason's doing that, want to take a second to uh, give a huge get well soon to a friend of
Yeah.
ours. Uh, you guys have heard us talk about our friends from Metal and Tats, Dana and Krista, before. Well, Dana's wife, Krista, had to undergo an operation. Not gonna release the details or anything, but we just want to wish her a get well soon and a speedy recovery and all that good stuff. We're thinking about you. So I hate when this shit doesn't cooperate. Oh, let me say this too. But before we get started, we've had and in the grand scheme of in the grand scheme of social media platforms and followers and audiences and everything, this isn't even gonna like move the needle. But I think for us, it's kind of cool, a kind of a cool thing. We finally hit 100 followers on TikTok,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, and I know that's nothing because I mean there are people out there
Well,
who
I mean,
have
it
there are
kind of
people
is because we only
yeah.
started this year, right? So we.
I mean, I think we've been on TikTok maybe a year and a half. I don't know, but I mean,
Okay.
we
Well.
haven't. I'll have to look back and see when I signed up. I can't remember, but I mean, like I say, I know in the grand scheme of things, I mean, there are people out there who have hundreds and tens of thousands. I mean, just so many followers. So, I mean, I know like 100 followers is nothing for in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, for us, it's kind of a cool milestone. We've actually had kind of a little bit of a surge in followers here lately. We were kind of stuck in the upper 80s for a while, and then over like the past couple of weeks, we've I think as of right now, I think we're actually at 101.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, we're at 101. So I mean that's kind of neat. Like I say, it's not going to get us paid. It's not going to,
Well, yeah, but
it's not going to
it's,
make us it's not going to make us any money, and we can't even go live on TikTok until you can't even go. You have to have 1,000 followers before you can even like go live on TikTok. So I mean, there's no
right.
telling if we'll even get to that point on that platform. But I just thought it was kind of I just thought it was kind of a cool thing. I kind of noticed this week we were creeping up on it, and I think it was I want to say it was actually yesterday. It was either yesterday or sometime overnight because I noticed it this morning that we were at 100 even. So
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's really it's kind of it's kind of a nice round number, I guess. So it's kind of cool that we were able to finally hit that milestone, if you can even if you can even legitimately call it that. But I kind of feel like it's kind of nice. So we've had a little bit of a bump in people joining the group too, which is
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Um, had more. All of our social media platforms have grown. Uh, had a few new subscribers on YouTube. I mean, we're kind of we're kind of treading water on X, but it is what it is. It's not that big a deal, really. But all of our social media has grown. We're doing well on Instagram. We're doing, like I say, we're doing fairly decent on TikTok. Not too bad, considering that we're not shaking our ass and taking our clothes off. I think we're doing pretty good on TikTok. So I
We probably
mean,
do. We probably do better if we did that because people would be like, "I'll give you $20, put it back on." So,
right? Yeah, probably.
um,
Yeah, you're probably right.
all right. I don't know why this thing is not cooperating, but it is not cooperating. So, I wanted to share that with you guys, but huh, interesting.
Well, maybe you can goof around with it a little bit while I'm reading a
Yeah,
story or
yeah,
something, and
through
then
through the through the show, and then we'll
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 see how it goes.
get around to it at some point. I guess so.
Still irritating though when shit doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it is, but whatever. I'm pretty sure I probably actually, I bet I changed the password on it and didn't even realize I did that. So, because I think I was messing around with some stuff, and I had to separate it because it was the same as my other one, for my personal one.
Oh, that
So,
makes sense.
so I wanted to change it so it didn't. Is that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that's the radio station. So, yeah, I need to document all that stuff and separate it all out. Just to, me and you both probably need to get together and share the logins for everything and passwords for everything, so we both can get into both of them. So
That's actually a pretty good idea.
yeah, because I know that you do you do your things on yours and I do mine, but at some point we go on vacations and we don't want to fuck with it, or
That's
you're
true.
trying to
Yeah.
you're trying to spend time with family and shit. You're not thinking about the podcast. Well, I mean, I would think you wouldn't be, but
Well, I mean, it's always kind of in the back of my mind somewhere. Like,
well,
I'll
yeah,
think of something, but I
but I'm
mean,
just saying you're just not gonna like take you're not gonna get up from the dinner eating with your parents and go, oh, I need to go do this on the podcast.
Oh no, no,
So I mean, it's just,
no.
that's what I'm saying. It's a
Yeah, not gonna do that.
So in those cases, I would be there to be able to log in and do things in there. But
Right.
you know, it's kind of messed up. Okay. Anyway, I guess we will carry on with the show, and then once I get that figured out, I can share that at the end of the show with the other stuff that I want to do. So
Okay.
so anyway, as per norm, we usually start this thing out with the birthday segment. So a
Right.
lot of birthdays going on out there, and if you see me looking around, I'm watching the Notre Dame game because I am a Notre Dame fan. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm trying to do two things at once here, but.
And you guys are up 24 with 3 minutes left. I think you're okay. So.
Yeah. We're probably good at this point. I was just kind of those last couple of plays about 10 minutes ago had me a little worried. I was like, well, so, I was like, I'm field goal block and all that stuff. Like, oh, come on,
Yeah.
but I think we're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, I think you're good.
I know everybody's probably hoping for a Notre Dame Georgia rematch, but who knows? We'll see. I guess.
I just hope Tennessee wins.
Well, I'm sure they will. I mean, that's the
I hope they do because they're playing Ohio State, so I hope they win.
It's like, just so you know, Michigan in the end, Chris still wants Ohio State to lose. He don't care.
Oh God, yeah. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
He said they'd be 0-12. He still wants Ohio State to lose.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, we got all his birthdays from the 14th through the 20th. December 14th, we had Dick Wagner, guitarist, songwriter for The Frost and Alice Cooper. He's also a session player for Kiss. Fortunately, he passed away in 2014. We had Cliff Williams, bassist for AC/DC. CJ Snare, vocalist for Firehouse, unfortunately passed away earlier this year.
Yep.
Tim Scold, bassist, accordion player, producer for Shotgun Messiah, Scold, and then he played with Marilyn Manson from '02 to '08. Then we had Rob Rivera, drummer for Nonpoint. December 15th, we had Carmen Appice, drummer for Vanilla Fudge and Cactus. And if you're wondering why they're on the list, just ask any drummer pretty much out there who kind of got them going into that line of work. And I guarantee you, one of the Appice brothers will come up in that conversation. It may not be Carmen, but Carmine or Beanie One will come up in those conversations. I'm pretty positive. Then we had Mark Jensen, guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter for Epica. Clint Lowry, guitarist for Seven Dust. And we had Ronnie Radke, vocalist for Falling in Reverse, and of course, X, Escape the Fate. And then December 16th, we had Billy Gibbons, guitarist for ZZ Top. Again, if you want to know why those bands are on the list, just ask around. A lot of people probably tell you, man. Billy. So if you ever watched anything with those guys, like documentary wise, and you watched Billy Gibbons play in that era and time, you would think, man, this is some heavy shit, because they did not play that kind of music back in that day. So
Yeah.
Just probably the same way that when they thought when Jimi Hendrix was coming up, they were just like, dude, this is wild. And honestly, I think if Jimmy was alive, he'd still be relevant, because he was just
Oh, I
that
think
good.
so. I think so.
He was just that good. Also, December 16th, we had Newo Kawakita, drummer for Maximum the Hormone. Phil Bennett, guitarist for Hidden Intent. Little friends out there. December 17th, we have Paul Rogers, vocalist for Bad Company. Sam Loeffler, drummer for Chevelle. Neil Sanderson, drummer for 3 Days Grace. And Joshua Ingram, drummer for New Year's Day from 2016 to 2017. And if you hadn't noticed, there's a pretty good theme going on this week. December 18th, we had Mile Petroza, guitarist, singer for Creator. We had Randy Castillo, drummer for Ozzy Osbourne, Motley Crue, and Azul. Fortunately passed away in 2002. We had Roman Glick, a bassist for Jackal. Raymond Herrera, drummer for Fear Factory. Like I said, theme. Maria Brink, vocalist and songwriter for In This Moment. December 19th, we had Miko Pananen, bassist for Him. We had John Fritz Hammerstein. I guess that's what they put on their website, so I'm going to go with that. Bassist for Halo Scars. And then also, while we're talking about him, our thoughts and prayers go out to John as he recently lost his wife to cancer. So, thoughts go out to him and his family at this time. It's a rough time of the year to lose anybody. I mean, any time's a rough time, but this time of year is definitely more difficult. Right. So, December 20th, which is today, we have Peter Criss, drummer and singer for Kiss, and Anders Odin, guitarist for Cadaver. Then we had Dai. I'm not going to try to say their name. Well, I can try. Daisuke and Do. Hopefully that's close enough. Guitarist for Durian Gray. And then last but not least, our good friend Kobe Duff, vocalist over at Halo Scars. So, and if I missed anybody I missed, or
not that I know of.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I don't have any personal ones this week, but I don't. There's none that I can think of.
Yeah. So I do have a personal one. Happy birthday to those guys first. Personal I have is my son will be his birthday is in 2 days, so I know we're not going to be back on the show until after the first year. So happy birthday to him. So hopefully we're actually going to go out and celebrate tomorrow for his birthday. So.
Oh, that'll be cool.
So, or actually Sunday, but on his birthday. So cool. We were planning something Saturday, but then we changed it. So we could just do it Sunday. So that's what's nice. So anyway, happy birthday to all those, and anybody out there listening, have a birthday this week. Happy birthday to you, and if you have a birthday in the next couple of weeks, happy birthday, because we won't be here. Just knock it out right now. So happy birthday to everybody out there.
If you've got a birthday next year, happy birthday.
Between now and the 3rd, I think is when.
Yeah, Friday the 3rd is when we'll be back. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we will slide into some news of the week here.
Yep. We're going to move over to the current events segment right now. Fortunately, we don't have any passings to pass along. No pun intended.
Thankfully,
thankfully we don't, which is good, because it's nice that we don't have to end the year on something like that, which is good. However, we do have a couple of stories that aren't great news, but no one has passed away. So starting out this week over at the PRP, guitarist Kevin Hufnagel of Gorguts, Dysrhythmia, etc. fame was recently the victim of a house fire which claimed numerous possessions and more. This GoFundMe has newly been launched to help him and his family get back on their feet. The following was shared by Hufnagel himself regarding the blaze, which nearly took the lives of his cats. Quote, "Thanks to those that have already reached out and offered to help, we are setting up this fundraiser to help us with lost work, possessions, vet bills, food, gas, clothes, etc. due to the horrific fire that started in the home we rented from. Anything is appreciated. Thank you all so much. For those that didn't see my social media post, here's my account of what happened. This past Sunday, December 15th, 2024, my worst nightmare came to life. I woke up at 5:30 to the smell of gas. I ran downstairs and heard the basement smoke alarm going off. The tenant who lives in the basement was not home. I called him and said his front door was unlocked. The second I tried to open the door, it was blasted with black smoke and heat. I ran upstairs to my wife, Kath, and told her we had to leave the house immediately. Which we looked for our 2 cats but couldn't find them. The fire was spreading and we had to act fast. Then there was a small explosion. I called 911. The firemen arrived within minutes. Bless them. I couldn't believe we didn't get our cats in time. I had never felt such extreme hopelessness, anger, and despair in my life. Nothing else in that house mattered to me but them. When the fire was out, I went back in, eventually found the Kitty sisters hiding under the bed. I grabbed them and we took the two to the vet immediately. I'm happy to say that they are recovering well. The cause of the fire was most likely the e-bike our downstairs tenant was using. We are still waiting for the official report. Do not buy these things. Amazingly, my guitars were fairly unscathed as they were mostly in cases on the top floor, but the stench of soot and fire permeated them, and the wood is warped. Thanks to Jeff from Dysrhythmia, the first person I called, Jeff helped me pack and store some of the important things I was able to salvage. Overall, as they say, it could have been worse. We're all alive. So that is the most important thing.
Right.
And let's see, as of right now, taking a look at the tabulation over at GoFundMe, $18,900 raised currently. So they have a $20,000 goal, so they're 95% of the way there, which is very cool for them. So hopefully they'll be able to hit the goal, and hopefully that'll be enough to get them through whatever they got to go through while the insurance is sorting everything out and they can pay bills and all that good stuff. So, but yes, thankfully everyone is alive, so that's the good news.
Cool. What's going on here? Let's see. Sorry, I'm still trying to juggle here. There you go. All right, my first one is over from Metal Sucks. I might be taking the unpopular opinion here, but crowd surfing and stage diving is fucking stupid. Don't get me wrong, I'll gladly jump in a mosh pit, but crowd surfing is just fucking rude to the people below you. When crowd surfers come near me, I generally get out of the way if I can. This is not from me, by the way. This is from the editor of the story.
Right,
so
right.
it's a completely inconsiderate thing to do, and it's better suited to a 14-year-old at an Imagine Dragons concert than it is for a metal or hardcore punk show. Unfortunately, Trophy Eyes are learning that the hard way as they are now facing a lawsuit over their lead singer stage diving and landing on a woman's neck. You might remember Bird Piche, the woman who was injured at a Trophy Eyes show at Mohawk Place in Buffalo, New York, back in late April. Mohawk Place had a strict no moshing policy, which Trophy Eyes frontman John Floriani ignored when he stage dove into the crowd, causing Piche a catastrophic spinal cord injury. We reported back in May that Piche was expected to make a full recovery, but it's been a long, hard recovery. It's still ongoing, and the healthcare in America is criminally expensive, and I will agree with that. Trophy Eyes kicked in $5,000 to Piche's GoFundMe page for her recovery, and the venue kicked in $5,000. Wait, that can't be right. The venue has to be able to afford more than $5,000 right? Nope, or $500. Sorry, they kicked in $500. Gotcha. Nope, they only kicked in $500. Wow. The band kicked in 5,000. The venue kicked in 500. I'm sorry, I did not see, or I've seen an extra zero, I guess, from reading the line above it. But anyway, that is kind of a slap in the face, I guess. According to Lamb Goat, who got a hold of the full lawsuit, Pache is suing the venue, the promoter After Dark Entertainment, Trophy Eyes, and Floriani himself, claiming that they created an unsafe and or dangerous condition. What's possibly not going to work in the favor of the defendants is the fact that the band has a history of getting aggressive toward fans who complain about moshing at their shows, and the fact that it's not the first time this venue has been sued for someone getting injured at a concert. Last time they were sued was when a man named Mike Bird, there's a strange number of birds in the story,
Yeah, it really is.
was injured at a Terror and Trapped Under Ice show, and that lawsuit nearly bankrupted the venue. So I imagine this lawsuit puts the future of the venue in jeopardy. That is the story there. To me, like, you want to crowd surf. I feel like you pay your money, and if the band's cool with you crowd surfing or whatever, then whatever. You know what I mean? But I do think that's kind of it's a dangerous thing, because if I've been to shows where they crowd surfing, they're coming up from behind me. So I'm watching the show. I'm not looking behind me. I don't give a fuck what you're doing behind me. I'm trying to watch the band.
Yeah.
So if you're coming up and I don't see you, then of course you're going to get fucking dropped. I mean,
yeah, I actually, because of the same thing you're talking about, because I was standing up towards it. I can't remember what show it was at. It may have been a Slipknot show. I can't remember. I don't remember where it was. But I do remember we were at a show one time, and my crowd surfer came up from behind, and actually I didn't see him, and I actually got my head like pushed forward. I didn't get hurt or anything, but totally unexpected. But you know, I feel bad what happened to her. I don't know that I don't know that she should be able to sue for like a super huge amount of money
Well, no, maybe for the
because
doctor bills or something,
because
but yeah.
right, yeah, but if she's just going after like something like that to cover medical expenses, that I can understand. But if you're looking for a whole bunch of like money and punitive damages and stuff like that, I don't think I don't think that she should be awarded that. Because I mean, if you're in the genre of music we listen to now, whether or not the venue has a no moshing policy or no crowd surfing policy or whatever it is, the genre of music that we listen to, the dangers are inherent.
Mm-hmm.
They're inherent. We've been to plenty of shows where we've seen every show I go to, there's mosh pits of a certain size.
Right.
If you're in the GA area, the closer to the stage you are, the higher the likelihood of you getting caught up in one. That's just the nature of the
Yep.
beast. Now
Caught
I'm
the
not
mosh.
now right, exactly. Now I'm not blaming this woman for getting hurt. She didn't go there. Nobody goes to these shows to get hurt.
Right.
But at the same time, with the genre of music that we listen to, the adrenaline is up and people are jumping around and everything. It goes for the people in the crowd. It goes for the people on stage. So I mean, I'm not blaming her for getting hurt because that's not what she signed up for. But at the same time, if you're up that close, I mean, there's a chance that you may have to that you may get involved in some things. So I mean, I don't. So if the lawsuit is just to cover like if she's looking for like six figures, I don't think that's fair.
No. No.
I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. It didn't say what she was suing for, so I have
Right.
no idea. So
Yeah. So I mean, if
that
she's if
that kind
she's
of
if
proves.
she's looking for a huge payday, I don't think that's fair.
Well, I mean, if you follow the venue's history and it's been done before, and you know that, then you know they don't have enough money to pay for that anyway,
Yeah, I
because
just
because it said they damn near bankrupted them the first lawsuit they had. So,
right. I
but
mean, I just don't. Yeah, I still think
and then you're
even
going to be the thing is you're going to be responsible for getting rid of a venue, and then going to be bitching about where I can't see shows in my hometown
well,
anymore.
I mean, yeah, there's I mean,
Well, I mean,
that's a
you
distinct possibility too.
you fucking
So I
did
mean,
it.
you have
So
to and you know you know what kind of show you're going to, and you are an
right.
adult. So I mean, you do assume some of the risk. I mean, if you
Well, I
get
mean,
into if you get
I mean,
into a mosh pit,
how many shows we've been to where they say that kind of thing, and we actually see mosh pits? I mean, just
yeah,
saying.
right. So I mean, you people who voluntarily get into a mosh pit, I mean, they know that they run the risk of getting trampled. They
Yeah.
know that. I
Well,
mean,
let me ask you this.
you could
Let me.
get stepped on, you could get elbowed in the
Yeah.
teeth. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean,
Well, let me ask.
Exodus wrote a song about it called, if you
Right.
hit the floor, you can always crawl. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Yeah.
for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
Let me ask you this: have you ever been to a metal show and expected not to see a mosh pit?
Nope.
Oh, there you go.
Nope.
That's the only. That would be
No.
my question to the plaintiff right there if I was a lawyer.
Yeah.
You ever been to a show and not expected to see stage diving and moshing? I mean,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The policy of the venue aside,
so how many
we've
first off, how many shows have you attended in your lifetime?
right.
That's important.
Yeah.
So
It well,
if you've been if you even if you've been to more than a dozen, you're expecting it. I'm sorry. That's
right, and like even we've talked about this a few times on the show before. Like when we went to Chattanooga to that show at the Signal, it's a big ass
yeah,
sign out front that says "No moshing allowed."
yeah. That's kind of what I was
Two,
talking about
yeah,
when
yeah. 2 songs into Death Angel's set, Mark was like, where's my mosh pit?" There you
yeah,
go. So I
yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
just, I understand that the venue is trying to guard themselves. I get that, but at the same time, as a concert goer, as a metalhead concert goer, there's gonna be mosh pits. There's gonna be mosh pits. They're gonna be there. So you gotta watch where you stand. Like I say, I'm not trying to blame her for getting hurt because she didn't
Right.
go there. No one expects to get kicked in the face, elbowed in the teeth, anything. No one ever expects that. But the risk is always there. You've got to
Well,
know that.
if you're going to see a band that's kind of known, because let me say something. I've watched Fever 333 a few times at festivals, and the lead singer for Fever 333 will jump out in the crowd. I mean, I've seen
Hmm.
him do it.
Yeah.
I've seen him moshing back up in an empty container that gear came in. So, so it's, I mean, if you go to a show like Trophy Eyes, obviously have a history of doing those things. So you, to me, if you're a fan of them and you go to see them, you should know that. You should know that they're going to jump out in the crowd. I mean,
Right.
if he's saying here he's done that many times, I mean, and you're a fan, then you probably should know that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that, I mean, you gotta you gotta do as much as you can to watch out for yourself. And if you're standing right
right.
up against the barricade, I mean, it's not a safe place to be right up against the barricade. If you're a man or a woman, like I say, I've gotten people kind of like dropped on my head and stuff like that.
You know,
But I mean, I'm up there right up against the barricade. I mean, it's gonna happen.
well, I mean, could you imagine like you being 130 pounds and seeing Glenn Danzig jump at you? I mean,
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Like,
man.
yeah. Prime Glenn Danzig. Jesus Christ.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
or back in the day, Peter Steele. I mean, those guys
Yeah.
were
Right. Yeah.
jacked up, man.
The
So
monster, that guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you somebody that's crazily fit right now that surprised me when I was looking up birthdays a while back was Phil Collin of Def Leppard. He's
Oh
70
yeah.
years old. He's
Oh yeah.
70 freaking years old, dude, and he's ripped, man. I'm
He
just like,
is.
how?
He's
How?
absolutely shredded. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. I
Yeah.
guess if you got that kind of money, you can do those things, but I can't afford dietitians and personal trainers.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I have to depend on. I'm going to have a cheat day, so
Right.
or maybe two or three, depends on what week it is.
Well, yeah, that's true too. That's true.
But
All right, staying over at the PRP for my next one, a new GoFundMe has been launched for concert goer slash local poster artist Jim Anderson, also known as James Raddick at Andersven slash Grim Grim Grim, while attending a December 15th show at Preserving Underground in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, headlined by Cold World. Anderson suffered a serious head injury while stage diving during War Hungry's opening set.
there you go.
See, there you go. Anderson took to social media to initially post the following of his health following the brain surgery that took place after the accident, while also showing off the gnarly injuries he sustained. Let's see, the new GoFundMe seeks to raise $26K for Anderson, with the following being offered of the campaign. Quote, on 12/15/24, Jim suffered a head injury at a show and ended up needing emergency brain surgery at Jefferson Hospital in Philadelphia and now has 50 staples in his head. Jim is resting at the hospital now and has been alert and FaceTiming with his friends, even giving a go birds to end the call. Jim will need our help now, however, as he will be out of work both from his 9 to 5 and from vending. If you've been around the Philly art, metal, hardcore wrestling scene over the last 10 plus years, you've probably seen Jim around. If not, you've definitely seen his art on show flyers or at Philly sporting events on shirts. Jim has done a lot for a lot of people, and I hope we can do something big for him. I'm starting the goal at 10K, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this. And like I say, there's a little bit of an inset from his X account showing a pretty damn wicked zipper that he's got on his head right now. But let's see, the GoFundMe is currently at $24,000 raised, so off to a pretty decent start. 24,318 of a 26K goal, so he's 94% of the way
Yeah.
to his goal, which is good. But it's kind of weird because I didn't expect this story to kind of tie into what we just talked about.
Yeah. So,
This guy literally just just chucked himself off stage and ended up cracking his skull open. So I mean, but at the same time, if you notice one thing that wasn't in this story, not to say that it won't happen down the road, it might not. One thing you didn't notice in this story is he's not suing the venue for him jumping his own ass off the stage. So
well, I mean, he probably can't. He did that. He did the jumping, not the
right,
not the band. So I mean,
yeah. So
I mean, that's the only difference there. But
right.
like I said, we'll see how
We'll see if there isn't something
please.
more that comes of it, but as of
I mean,
right now, no litigation.
We'll see how it plays out for him, Cotton.
It's a bold strategy.
Oh man,
Old ESPN 8
Ocho, yeah,
the Ocho. Ouchtown, population U, bro.
That's right. So if you want to know, Notre Dame just won the first.
Oh, see, there you go.
So,
What was the
by
final?
10, by
20,
20,
27?
27 to
27,
17. Yeah,
17?
yeah. They almost let them come back.
Yeah.
All right, this one over from Metal Injection. This one's going to be interesting, and I'm gonna share some insight on this because
Okay.
they're just I'll just wait and do it. So it's clear that Metallica is absolutely the biggest metal band in the world. But beyond that, they're just playing huge across the board. Polestar just released their top 10 worldwide top touring artist list, which found Metallica at number 9, having possessed $179.3 million in 2024. To break that down a little, Metallica's average ticket was $119.64, and the band averaged 62,512 tickets for all their 2024 show, or all their 24 shows. I don't know if that means 2024 or no, that means the 24 shows they had in 2024. Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
All right.
so, so,
Okay. Yeah.
so beating out Metallica by just a few measly tens of millions was Zach Bryan, who grossed 199.1 million. Oh, and of course Taylor Swift came in at number 1 by a massive margin. She grossed 1.043 billion in touring throughout 2024. Second to Taylor Swift was Coldplay, who grossed 421.7 million, not even half of Swift. Interestingly, the North American stats are very different. Metallica didn't make the list, but the Rolling Stones came in at number 1, having grossed 235 million in touring. The Rolling Stones average ticket price was 277 point. Or $277.28, sorry, and the band averaged 47,100 tickets per show. And they only played 8 shows, so good on them for doing
Holy
that
shit.
well across that few of live performances. You can check on both the list there at Metal Injection if you want to. Actually, did want to touch on the one that they were talking about, the worldwide sales. So if you look at that, you had Taylor Swift at the 1 billion mark, right? Well, Taylor Swift played 80 shows that year. So
Yeah. I
so
mean,
so if you look at
I
that
mean,
compared to
it's a lot more shows.
Coldplay was second, and they only played 54. So I mean they're down 26 shows to her and was in second. So who's to say if they would have played those other 26 shows if she would
They
be on top? Probably
they
not.
they still. I'm look. I can't stand her. I can't stand her.
Yeah.
I don't.
But then,
I
but
can't stand her. I don't get the fascination with her because
yeah, I
I,
don't either. But
I don't understand why people think that she is such a such a wholesome character.
well,
I
she's
don't get
not.
it.
I guarantee you, she's not.
I know
So,
she's not. I know she's not. So I mean,
uh,
I don't understand. Look, I'm not here to advocate that people stop listening to Taylor Swift. I just don't understand the fascination with her. Her music is just it's just mindless drivel to me.
mhm.
I just don't get it. I mean, she sings about the same shit.
Yep.
Oh, this guy broke my heart. This guy broke my heart. This guy broke my heart.
Wait till you get
How about
wait till you get the song "The Chief." You'll get that at one point. So
I mean, why don't you fucking, as far as I'm concerned, why don't you write a song called Common Denominator, you know?
yeah, right.
So I
Uh,
don't know, but
but
you've been in so many relationships. I just don't, I don't get it. I don't, of
but
course, I don't get, like, I don't get pop music in general. I just don't get it, but
yeah. Anyway, my point that I'm making is Metallica at number 9. Made 100 and almost 180 million bucks, right? Off of 24 shows,
24 shows.
24 shows. So if they would have played the other 56,
Mhm.
there's no way Taylor Swift would fucking be on top of this thing.
Yeah.
Not in my opinion. There's no way. So I mean, even if you took that and take, you know what? I got a calculator right here.
I was about to say, let's do a little bit of math here.
So you take the
So what did you say that, how many tickets,
71,
how many?
373,
Okay, yeah, go ahead, because yeah, that'd be interesting.
7. Well, I can't even go that
Oh
far.
my God, Jesus Christ! And then the first fucking thing, like I hit Facebook, the first fucking thing that pops up is what
Taylor Swift.
her stupid ass fucking picture.
Oh,
God
man.
damn it, man!
So, wait a minute. I think it tells me. Hold on, let me blow this up
So
real quick.
stupid. But while you're doing that, let me say something real quick. Metallica, they've made over. We've talked about this before. Metallica has made over $1 billion in their career in ticket sales.
Oh well, yeah.
No merch, no album sales, no nothing. In just ticket sales, they have made $1 billion. They're coming to Nashville. I can't remember when. May, I think in May.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming to Nashville in May, and the ticket prices have priced me out of what I comfortably want to pay. And I'm actually pissed about it, which is weird because I'm wearing a Metallica shirt. I'm a Metallica fan. I always will be. But what they want for ticket prices at these shows now is horse shit, and I'm not happy about it. You guys are multi millionaires. Even into the you guys are billionaires. And you want what you want for tickets at Nissan Stadium, and it's at Nissan Stadium. It's a fucking football stadium, which is going to have tens of thousands of people there. And the amount you want for tickets is horse shit. I'm actually the more I think about it and talk about it, the more it pisses me off because it's Metallica and Pantera. Two bands. I was talking about this with Kayla, I think earlier this week. Two bands I always wanted to tour together back in the day when they were in the prime.
And you now, can't afford to go.
and now they are, and I can't, and I don't feel comfortable paying.
Well, I mean, it's not that you can't afford to. You just don't want to pay that price. And I'm the same way. I'll see that.
I don't feel comfortable paying.
And I'm like, man, I would love to, but I'm sorry, I'm not paying that to see anybody. I don't care. Like,
no, it's
because the thing to me is, am I going to go see one show this year, or am I going to take that and break that down and then go see 5 shows this year?
Exactly.
So,
that's
So my calculator won't even go that far, dude. So I'm gonna have to do this by hand, which is crazy.
Well, hang on.
Let's see.
All right, what was the math?
Oh, wait a minute. My phone will do that. So
yeah, I was about to say I was gonna do the same thing. Get the fuck out of here, man! Get this shit off my screen.
If I did this, so 62,500 per show times 80. Let's see. Would be. Wait a minute. What is that? That's tickets. Oh, that's tickets. Never mind. That's not what I meant to do. 62.
Yeah, because what was the average ticket price? $119. All right, so that's basically $7.5 million per show times 24 shows is $178,500,000.
That's what. Yeah, that's where they're at right now. Yeah,
but if you were to go, how many shows did she do? 80.
Yeah, 80 shows. But you gotta look at her ticket sales were, almost $100 more too.
Yeah, so, see, that's another thing. That's another thing.
Yeah. So even if they would have did the 80 shows at their ticket prices, they would have made damn near $600 million.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, if they wanted to charge $200 a show, then
which is what they're doing this year, and it's bullshit.
Yeah. So then you're looking at.
Well, 600. Well, if you charge $100 more, that $600 million becomes $1.2 billion. So yeah, they make more money than her if they do the same amount of shows.
Yeah, they make over $1 billion too. So
yeah.
So yeah.
So I mean, the numbers are the numbers. I mean, but she just worked more. That's all she did. She just worked more.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? Like, I don't know if all of her stuff is stadiums or anything either. So I mean, so they only did those stadium shows last year. So which is what they're doing again this year. So. And Metallica has earned the right to do that. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have.
They don't want to be that band from 1994 that did 4.5 years straight touring and hit multiple venues in the same year. So probably doing 180, 200 shows a year probably. So they don't want to. They don't want to be. They're too old to be that band anymore. So
yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like, hey, we're going to do this many, and then that's all we're doing. So
yeah, I mean, they're in their 60s. We just talked about it. They've made their money. Yeah.
Just like you just talked about the Rolling Stones. They're in their 70s, and they're doing 50 shows or 40, whatever it was, 18, 12. I
Yeah.
don't remember what it was now. I can go back and look. Shit, I forgot I had that on there. So they did 18 shows. They'll only do 18 shows a year. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, we're 70 years old. That's probably a lot for a 70-year-old
Yeah.
man, So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, they've made plenty of money too. So I mean, they're
yeah.
to a point now where they can play as many shows as they want. There's not a
Right.
need to play 10, 20, 30, 40, however many shows there is. There's no need to do the entire world. There's no need to do that anymore. So,
And which was amazing to me to see, because I mean, we just seen Accept and KK's Priest,
yep.
a while back, and to see those guys doing what they're doing at 70 was amazing. It was
Mhm.
just like, I'm just like, man, I can't do
Yep.
that at damn near 50. So,
Right. Yeah.
so,
You're absolutely right.
so anyway,
Which by the way, speaking of it, except they're actually going to be supporting Judas Priest when
I
Judas
seen
Priest goes
that.
to Germany. So that's cool for them. That's cool for them. I'm happy for them that they're going to get to do that. All right, I'm going over to Blabbermouth next. This one was actually a little bit of technically a holdover from last week. I saw it last week, but when we had our guests, so I kind of kept it in the back of my mind. But this one is a good news, and I'm happy to be talking about this one. So over at Blabbermouth, all of Poison drummer Ricky Rocket's stolen drums have been found and have been returned to Don's Drum Vault, described as the largest inventory of rare and vintage drums in the world. On December 10th, Don Bennett, the owner operator of Don's Drum Vault, wrote in a post on the Drummers of the Pacific Northwest Facebook group, quote, "Update, all of Ricky Rocket's stolen drums have been found. My sincere appreciation to everyone who helped spread the word. My deepest appreciation to our friends at the Tukwila Guitar Center for their cool and quick action and for keeping the thieves occupied until the police arrived. Also to our new friends in the Burien Sheriff Department for their great police work and for being total pros. Thief was arrested. All of the drums were recovered and returned in perfect condition. I feel deeply fortunate to be part of our drum community that watches out for each other like we all do. Keep it up. This is a big win for the good guys." End quote. Rocket's gear was stolen from the Don's Drum Vault warehouse in Burien, Washington. Bennett initially posted the following message along with photos of the stolen drums. Quote, "Stolen drums, several drum sets from the collection of Ricky Rocket from Poison were stolen from our warehouse in Burien, Washington. They are all extremely unique and easily identified. Please let me know if you see them anywhere. Thanks." On December 12th, Rocket took to his social media to share the good news that all his stolen drum kits had been recovered. Among the stolen notes will be released on July 15th via Rare Bird Books. The book was written with writer Leif duo Leif Erikson and Martin Svensson. Probably not the original Leif Erikson from
Right.
centuries ago. I have
Yeah.
a feeling, but so there you go.
Well,
So
you
that's some good news.
you don't think that's possible?
Yeah, the odds are low, but not zero, probably. But yeah, we talk about these bands getting their vans and warehouses broken into all the time, but it's nice to see that for a change we're able to report that when somebody gets their stuff stolen, this time they were able to recover all of it and it was all undamaged, which to me is amazing that it was all undamaged.
Right.
That's the crazy part to me, is that it was all undamaged.
All right. There was a story that I had too that I was going to share on here, and I had it on my phone, and now it's gone. So, just another thing I'm not going to get to share, I guess. But Jesus Christ, like it's like, uh, well, I'll try to find that too because I think it was a good story. So,
Okay.
all right, this one over from Blabbermouth. Following its acclaimed debut, the award-winning documentary, "The History of Metal and Horror," is now available in an exclusive deluxe edition, offering fans an even deeper look into the intertwined evolution of heavy metal music and horror films. Directed by Mike Schiff, this compelling documentary uncovers fresh insights into the origins of heavy metal, its deep-rooted connections to classic horror films, and its lasting cultural significance. Featuring over 60 interviews with icons from both worlds, the history of metal and horror dives into the powerful ways These two cultural forces have influenced and shaped each other over decades, adding to its unique narrative. Each chapter is introduced by segments of a post-apocalyptic short film hosted by horror legend Michael Berryman. This film features interviews with some of the biggest names in metal and horror, including Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, John Carpenter, John Five, Tom Savini, Kirk Hammett, Dave Mustaine, Corey Taylor, Kane Hodder, Jonathan Davis, Scott Ian, Doug Bradley, Sid Haig, Bill Moseley, and Chris Jericho. Since 2021, the history of metal and horror has earned over 30 award wins and 20 nominations at respective festivals, including San Francisco's Another Hole in the Head and Big Apple Film Festival, and was notably nominated for Best Documentary Feature at Sitges, the massive genre film festival in Catalonia, Spain. The history of metal and horror deluxe edition includes the original film on Blu-ray, 2 bonus discs featuring over 20 hours of unseen interviews, a soundtrack disc, and an 8-page collectible booklet. Additionally, each limited edition box set is individually numbered, signed, and housed in a premium magnetic Blu-ray case, making this the perfect collector's item for genre enthusiasts. Official Synopsis is The History of Metal and Horror is a documentary that explores the history of heavy metal music and horror and how the two genres ultimately cross paths. Various metal artists share their first introduction to horror, their favorite horror films, excuse me, their influences, and more. Horror film icons also discuss how their films have influenced the horror genre, their connection to metal artists, and why metal and horror work so well together. History of metal and horror. We should have had a number on that one.
We probably should. I'm actually just starting to realize that, yeah.
Deluxe edition is now available for purchase at metalhorror.com. Quantities are limited, so fans are encouraged to act quickly to secure this collector's item. I'm going to count it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3,
That's funny.
6 times. 6 times in that little story.
6.
So,
right.
yeah. So
well,
we have to start getting our dry erase board out.
Yeah.
We both need to get us a little one and say, oh, get the dry erase boards out, guys.
Them,
But anyway, I'm surprised. So one name that I'm surprised wasn't in there was Spencer. Charnas from Iceland Kills.
right.
Him being so big. Already wrote two albums. Around the horror films. So
yeah.
So
and they just wrote,
and he may be in there. I don't know, but just because it didn't mention him, doesn't mean he's not in there. So
right.
And I think Jericho may have been one of the few people that have acted in a horror film and played metal. So
yeah.
I'm not sure. I think I take that back. I think I remember seeing something where Kirk was in something.
I think he was.
And then Corey Taylor's actually been in something too, because I got the movie poster. So somewhere around here, I was trying.
And then of course D. Snyder, but
but he's not listed on there. But he should have been. Yeah, I think D should have been on there. I don't know if Alice Cooper played in anything, but I know Rob has, because he directed.
Well, of course,
his own stuff, and he was in one of his movies, and I almost didn't know that it was him until somebody told me. He said, "Oh, he was in that movie." I was like, "Was he?" It was so quick, I didn't even realize he was in there.
Right.
It's kind of like the Stephen King thing. A lot of people don't know Stephen King's in most of his movies.
Yeah.
But it's so fast that you don't see it at first. You have to go back and look for it. Once you go back and look for it, you go, "Oh yeah, there he is." So
ends up being an Easter egg, yeah.
Yeah, probably been Easter egg. And same thing with Stan Lee, but at least Stan Lee and Marvel had a line or two, so you kind of knew he was there,
right?
So
yeah. All right. Well, oddly enough, my next story is about another documentary that's coming out.
Yes, it
is. Deadline reports that a new 8-part series exploring heavy metal history will debut on Hulu in 2025. Produced by Vice Studios Canada, Into the Void, which is a working title, will chronicle the emotional sagas behind the most towering legends and unforgettable artists in heavy metal. according to Deadline. It will go behind the stage into the real lives of heavy metal icons. The series is being overseen by executive producers Evan Husney and Jason Eisner, who created pro wrestling documentary series Dark Side of the Ring, which covers
There you
scandals,
go.
mysteries, and tragedies from wrestling's storied history. Evan Husney took to his Instagram to write, quote, "New project alert, super stoked to finally share what Jason Eisner and I have been working on for the past few years, coming to Hulu in 2025. We both grew up as diehard fans of metal and have always been fascinated by the boundaries between fantasy and reality. The sonic worlds created by the genre's boldest icons are rich with untold history and unimaginable trials and tribulations. They were excited to team up with Hulu to look beyond the mystique and show these legends as real people. A full episode lineup of the stories we'll be delving into will be announced closer to the show's release next year. We can't wait to share it with everyone. Hashtag heavy metal." Earlier on Monday, December 16th, Metal Blade Records CEO Brian Slagle revealed that he is also part of the team creating the new series, which is very cool that he's a part of that. So that's going to be definitely something worth watching, I believe. So definitely looking forward to that.
I'm still trying to mess with this. So just say.
All right. Then I'll read my next story because it's kind of a short one.
I mean, I'm ready.
Oh, okay, go ahead. All right.
It's actually my last one anyway. So, Metal Sucks.
Okay, cool.
Over at Metal Sucks. So it's one of the most infuriating parts of trying to buy tickets in recent years. The addition of bullshit, no good, super expensive fees that somehow get tacked on at the last minute. More often than not, those additional fees make an affordable ticket used to see your favorite band perform balloon into a more costly endeavor than you originally thought. It's fucking frustrating and a pure example of corporate greed fucking up something fun. Just say round it up. Still trying to get over whatever I had last week. So, well, after multiple threats and official proposals in Washington, D.C., the Federal Trade Commission has handed down a ruling earlier today that effectively bans what they call junk fees across a number of entertainment and hospitality industries, including online concert ticket sales. The Biden administration has sought to address junk fees for a while now, with the president even going as far as to personally call for an end of the bait and switch practice once and for all. Since last October, a proposal was on the table demanding that all mandatory fees be posted up front. As you may recall, most of the time, those additional fees only become apparent as you're just a few clicks away from confirming your order, forcing you to either eat those additional costs or reconsider if you're even going to go to the concert at all.
Yep.
In the new bipartisan decision, all fees will be detailed throughout the concert ticket buying process. This also applies to any previously undisclosed fees that crop up while booking a hotel or a vacation rental. FTC Chair Linda M. Khan said in a statement that the move was to make things easier for the American consumer. Quote, "People deserve to know upfront what they're being asked to pay without worrying that they'll later be saddled with mysterious fees that they haven't budgeted for and can't avoid. The FTC's rule will put an end to junk fees around live event ticket sales, hotels, and vacation rentals, saving Americans billions of dollars and millions of hours and wasted time," end quote. Now, in all fairness, it should be noted that both Ticketmaster and Live Nation opted into a pricing system that already includes all fees in their final price. Following the FTC's decision, the Live Nation released a statement in which they say they were happy about the ruling, pointing to the fact that they already offered an all-in pricing, which that's bullshit.
See, that's the funny thing is like all-in pricing is all well and good, but the all-in pricing still has the bullshit fees.
There you go. All of this also comes just months after the House of Representatives passed the Ticket Act, which they demanded the ticket industry become way more transparent with their pricing structure. As it stands, it's likely heading to the Senate as soon as this weekend for a vote before potentially heading to the president's desk. Open a can of whoop ass on the bot scalpers, venues, ticketing companies, managers, and artists alike who rip off and deceive the public. We'll have to see if anything comes of all this. In the meantime, Kid Rock said that he'd help incoming President Donald Trump open a can of whoop ass on the bot scalpers, venues, ticketing companies, managers, and artists alike who rip off and deceive the Public. I think they may have repeated that there. So,
I think they did. Yeah.
while you all know my politics at this point, you should know that if Trump and Rock pull that off, I'll be the first to sing their praises. Which, like I said, I hate to get politics involved, but sometimes, I mean, in this case, you have to have laws to hold these people at bay, or they're just going to keep on, fucking you out of your, to me, it's like crazy because I know like a few times I went on and bought a $30 ticket, and then the fees are half of that. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I paying $18 for a fee if the ticket's only $30 fucking? Like,
Yeah. Well, and what sucks too is that it's gotten to the point where politicians feel they have to get involved. That's the
yeah, and
that's
it
the
should
sad part.
and it shouldn't be that way because
No, it shouldn't be that way.
companies feel like they can just do what they want to do, and you just pay it or don't go. They don't give a shit. So,
Right.
and I think that's fucked up, man. Especially like say with an artist that's like up and coming, like a lot of the bands that we interview.
Mm-hmm.
They depend on that. So so if you say, well, I only had 50 people to show because they couldn't afford to come because we're charging $30 a ticket, yeah, but then the ticket,
The ticket ends up being $60.
the
Yeah.
ticket ends up being $50, and then people back out. So
Right.
if you don't have that, then you wind up having 150 people there, and these guys are getting paid and being able to move into bigger lineups,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, prime example, I watched Thrown into Exile a few times on festivals at little stages or whatever. They got announced that they're opening for Arch Enemy. So,
Yep.
so I mean, it's good to watch these bands kind of, they've never been on the show, don't get me wrong, but it still looked good to see those smaller bands get into something bigger. And, like I said, Halo Scars, the band we've had on the show, they've opened up for bigger bands this year than they've ever, than they probably have in the past because
Yep.
of them being able to make those connections and put themselves out there and bands like have praised them, which is cool. I mean, that's what you want is have the headliners, check out your set and be like, damn, that's good, dude. That's good, kid, or
Yeah.
you got Dino Cazares from Fear Factory telling you how good your set was. I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. So.
There you go. Yeah, so I mean, it's like I said, it's all well and good that these websites are letting you know exactly everything you're paying now, but I mean that's fine. It's good that if I know that I'm paying $75 for a ticket, that it's going to be $75. That
Right.
all in pricing is all well and good. That's fine. I'm all for transparency, but now I can see how badly I'm getting fucked. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I mean it's a step in the right direction. Don't get me wrong. I mean it's all well and good that you now know that there are 4 additional fees added on to the price of the actual event. But I would rather address the problem of like why are there so many fees? Like everything online is supposed to be easy. No one is having to be staffed at a ticket booth at a venue anymore. Everyone's buying shit online. If I'm buying shit online, I can get the ticket just like that. There's no should be no handling charges, no convenience fees, none of this bullshit because everything is
Well,
instantaneous.
so I feel like there should be a limit of how many tickets you can buy too, like so that way the bots can't buy them all up.
That's a completely different issue altogether that absolutely needs to be resolved because all of these people, because there are these people out there who have these setups to where as soon as tickets go on sale, they have these setups to where they can snag 100 tickets right off the hop, and that's bullshit because it
Yeah.
screws the regular people over. And the secondary market is even worse. Don't get me started on the secondary market because that's even more bullshit. So, but yeah, the whole bots and scalping thing, that's completely different. So, but it is as big of it's as big of a problem. Yes, because all people want to do is go to a concert, see a comedy show, watch a hockey game. So all they want to do is have a night out, and having to determine, okay, if I go buy these tickets, is it going to ruin me financially for the next 1 or 2 months if I just want to have a night out with my wife or something like that? Or, or like if you and I want to drive to Knoxville to see a show, like whoever it may be, is this going to, am I going to, have to make a financial decision, so I mean, it's just ridiculous that, you have to do that, just to be able to like blow off some steam and have a night out, for fuck's sake, you know.
Yeah,
All right, all right. All right, over to PRP for my next one. This is one that I actually saw earlier while I was actually doing a little bit of pre-show. The opportunity to take over the drums for multi-platinum alternative metal weirdos Primus has proven to be a coveted position, with some 5,000 participants having taken their shot at the role since the band launched open auditions in mid-November. If you missed the news, the group unexpectedly found themselves down a member in October following the sudden departure of Tim Herb Alexander from their roster. Since launching the auditions, the outfit have offered up some guidance in what they are seeking in a new member. However, it would appear some bad actors have also been taking advantage of those hopeful to land the spot. According to a post made on December 19th by the band's vocalist/bassist Les Claypool, some individual or individuals have taken to masquerading as representatives of the band and contacting those hoping to assume Alexander's former role. Claypool stated, quote, "As we begin to wrap up the process of scouring the over 5,000 applications we've received and we begin to schedule the auditions for later in January, we unfortunately have been plagued by a handful of pranksters who think it is funny to contact some of the applicants on their own and pretend to be a representative from Primus. Although this is obviously the work of some extremely clever individuals whose intellect and sophistication must far exceed any of the general public, to the point that none of us are really able to comprehend and appreciate this kind of humor, it is our duty here in Primus Camp to at least give a heads up, as it were, to those who may be duped by these sad individuals who are obviously struggling with their own insecurities and shriveled genitalia." Well, that's harsh, but probably true. "Please note that any correspondence from Primus to would-be drum candidates will come from our management and will have confirmation information within the email. Sorry for any inconvenience if you've experienced any of this," end quote. So there you go. If you're an aspiring Primus drummer, if you're an applicant, they'll get in contact with you. So hopefully you haven't fallen for anything and given anybody any important information.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of that, you kind of brought up that, and it kind of reminded me what I was looking for earlier. So, wanted to share something that it was an official announcement made by our friends over at Born Broken. It says, "We're beyond stoked to officially introduce Pavlo Hakalis as our new guitarist for the band Born Broken. Pavlo brings years of experience from playing across a wide range of musical genres, giving him a style and versatility that we're excited to have on board. He's also a total gearhead and studio wizard, so you can bet he's already pushing us to new creative heights. At the same time, we want to give a huge thanks to you, Rob Hinks, for his time with the band. We know Rob's time with us was short, but he brought passion and dedication to everything he did, and we're grateful for the moments we shared on this journey. We wish him nothing but success in his future musical endeavors, and know he'll continue to create amazing music wherever he goes. With Pablo now part of the team, we're ready to push forward with even more energy and creativity. There's so much on the horizon, so stay tuned for what's next." So, and I know you've seen it because you liked the post. So,
yeah. Yep, I did. I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
I did.
So I came across it right before the show, and I had saved it, and then I went back and I said, "Oh, where the hell did it go?" So,
yeah.
So I had to go back and when you said that about with Promise, it kind of triggered us. Oh yeah, Born Broken had a new guitarist. Yeah. So,
yeah, there you go. But yeah, good for them. That's very cool.
Yeah. So.
All right, and my last one over at Metal Injection. This one could get a little interesting. In the depths of the COVID-19 pandemic and related stay-home orders, things got pretty bleak for a lot of full-time artists, musicians, and crew members. This led to a program called the Shuttered Venue Operations Grant, which was established as a way to help out struggling venues and artists, obviously. According to a new report from Business Insider, which reviewed thousands of documents related to the grants, many artists misused the funds they acquired via loan-out companies, corporate entities used to handle the business of touring, which raises questions about the ethics and oversight of such programs. Many artists receive large sums of money, but this new report from Business Insider has led to speculation about how it was spent and why funds were not more closely monitored. Lil Wayne and Chris Brown allegedly misused millions of dollars on parties and designer clothing, while grunge legends Alice in Chains came under speculation for use of their grant money. from the Business Insider article and report, quote, according to the report on March 23rd, 2022, records show the Alice in Chains singer and guitarist Jerry Cantrell took in 1.4 million as an SVOG distribution. The band's drummer Sean Kinney received the same amount, and its bassist Mike Inez booked half that sum, about $682,000. In all, 3.4 million of the 4.1 million the grant allotted for payroll went to the three musicians at the top. Business Insider notes that the month before they received the grant, Alice in Chains made $48 million selling the copyrights to their music catalog. Some money was paid out to staff, videographers, rental firms, and managers, but grant money was not spent on things like health insurance or helping longtime Guitar Attack crew member Scott Dak Roden when he became sick with cancer. Alice in Chains shared a GoFundMe for Dak Roden, who is now deceased, and the band said they helped financially behind the scenes, but a person close to the situation told Business Insider that isn't true. Whether or not there are consequences or further investigation for either the artists who received money or the overseeing Small Business Administration stemming from Business Insider's report is still to be seen. So there you go. That one's probably not going away anytime soon, and it's not just Alice in Chains. Like I said, they mentioned Lil Wayne and Chris Brown, and I saw this same story on another. I think it may have been on the PRP. They mentioned it, and there was another band that was actually mentioned along with Alice in Chains, and I don't want to erroneously bring up another band. So let me real quick see if I can find that, because it was Alice in Chains. Shinedown. Shinedown was the other. The other artist who was reportedly named in that report too. But I have a hard time believing it was just two bands and two rappers. There were probably a lot more artists who will probably be named at some point in time. But either way, I don't think that's really going to go away quickly. So we'll see what happens there. But that was all of current events news that I had.
All right, go through some of these.
Just some headlines.
Headlines, yeah.
Headlines. So. Well, I mean, let's see what we got going on.
I got, let's see. All right, so Lamb of God's John Campbell said it's time to start working on new music. So, I mean, damn, we get Lamb of God next year too. Jesus Christ, man! It's like they just keep coming.
The hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, next year. I mean, if all these albums come out next year that we're expecting to, it might be one of the biggest metal years ever.
In recent memory, for sure.
Man, Cataclysm frontman Maurizio Iacono's ex-DEO to release new EP Year of the Four Emperors. Former Killswitch Engage singer Howard Jones is working on his debut solo album. Not to mention already, finishing up with the Adam deal there too. So he's got a lot going on. Sinister Gates on a Vid Sevenfold playing full albums on anniversary tours. It doesn't really interest us, which that's their prerogative. I don't think nobody.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to hear some of their full albums on tour.
Yeah, that's true.
So, if you see anything past Hail to the King, you can keep it to yourself. So,
I was about to say it all depends on what era you're talking about, but yeah.
Oh man. Testament's Alex Skolnick says, I'm troubled by the outsized role that religion plays in our society, which I guess I can kind of see where he's going with that. It just kind of depends on how you interpret that. So
I actually read that story, and
it's not the way it sounds. Yeah, I read it too. He's not saying that they're devil worshippers or anything like that. No.
But like if you read the story, he makes some good points.
He does, yeah.
He makes some good points.
They're not Striper. That's the biggest one. So,
nope.
Doug Ulrich opens up about his cancer battle. Said, I just got done with 6 weeks of radiation. So, our continued thoughts go out to Doug there. Hopefully, he can beat this thing and come out winning on the other side. Yeah, so,
he's probably fucking exhausted.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. Like, that's just crazy. Slipknot's Clown says there are so many horrible bands who are going to be our future headliners. Well, you're obviously not listening to anything new. There's Clown, so there's plenty of. That was kind of a clown remark in my opinion, but So, uh,
But at the same time, I don't agree, but he's also not 100% wrong.
well, no, I mean
So
we've talked about who are going to be our future headliners. I mean, but
yeah,
I think there's bands out there that's definitely got the talent to do it. I mean, you're talking
hmm
about, we've talked about Malevolence and bands like that. We've had bands on the show that are in their 20s, dude. I mean,
yep.
the future of metal is pretty solid, I think.
I think,
So
well, yeah, I absolutely think so.
I think there's plenty of bands out there that have the. I mean, Spirit Box is already there, and they've only been around a short time. So, I mean, there's a lot of bands out there that's definitely future headliners. I mean,
Yeah.
Doc Coyles on possible new God forbid said if we're going to write, we have to figure some things out. So. Not sure. I guess keep the fighting out of the writing room. I guess
Yeah,
would be the first would
maybe.
be the first thing.
Yeah,
So,
maybe still some things that need to be resolved. That's
yeah,
understandable.
I'm sure there is. So, I mean, Doc's not too worried about it because he's got bad wolves. So, so
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I mean, it wasn't a no. So I mean, it's just
right. I mean, I think they're all willing to work things out and get it back. I mean, I would love to see a God forbid reunion. Honestly, I mean,
yeah,
I saw them live when they kind of renewed for that one show at Blue Ridge, and I was like, man, I can't wait for these guys to try. And I was kind of sitting there hoping and thinking, man, I hope these guys get back in the studio and do some things. It'd be cool. So and of course that same year, Shadows Fall was there too, and you see what they're
right.
doing
Yeah.
now. You see what they're doing now. So who
Yep.
knows?
Never say
Uh,
never, man. Never say
Never say
never.
never. Next year's Headbangers Boat Cruise adds Power Trip, The Exploited, in Category 7 to the list there. Once I get that full list out, I'll actually put that on the events page and
Hmm.
or the events segment and tell everybody about that. Um, Sheer Terror vocalist catches flack for asking promoters to stop booking them with beatdown bands. Which I mean, if you're a metal band, I'm sure you don't want to be on tour with a beatdown band. But anyway, uh, here's another Slipknot clown prediction here. It says we probably have several albums in us right now, and it's looking great. So we'll see. Maybe you get some new Slipknot too next year. That would be. I mean, you get Slipknot, Lamb of God on top of everything that we already know. Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
But I mean, I feel like 21 was probably a big year because that's kind of when
20.
everything
No,
kind of
no, it
opened
was
back up. Or
no, it was 22.
22. I
It
thought it
was
was like after
22.
everything kind of opened back up, everything was kind of like boom. So
Yeah,
it's been a cut. So all those bands that put out shit in 22 is kind of circling back, at this
yeah,
point. So on top of other bands that have been out since the pandemic, so it's
yeah.
kind of cool. So there's always a lingering chance that we're going to get back together, says Fugazi drummer Brendan Canty. So any Fugazi fans might be happy to hear about that.
God, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
I know, right? So Power Trip, The Exploited, Necrogoblicon, and more added to Headbangers Boat 2025. That's what I said. Two announcements in the same week there for the Headbangers Boat tour. So
Hmm. That
is that
lineup
the
is that lineup's getting close to being
yeah
solidified. I think.
it is yeah. Is that the Lamb of God cruise? I can't remember. That's not the Lamb of God one, right?
I don't know.
I know Lamb of God does a cruise too. I can't remember if it's the
I don't. I'm not
Headbangers.
sure. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna have to look that up now. So let's see real quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's actually a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, that is theirs. The Headbangers Boat. So
Oh,
that's
okay. All right.
the Lamb of God one. So Lamb of God is going to be there. So,
Yep.
and then last I had was Butcher Babies and DED or Dead, however how you want to say that, replace Oceano on the upcoming Attila's American Rejects tour. So that's a pretty goddamn good show, man. If you ask me, just Attila, Dead and Butcher Babies. That's a pretty good deal.
The funny thing is you get an extra band because
True. Yeah.
two bands are taking the place of Oceano, so that
Mm.
they actually expanded the bill. So
Yeah. So get more music for your buck there. So.
there you go.
And that was all the headlines I had, unless you had something to add or you seen something that I didn't. So
No, just the one thing that I added from what I texted you last night was just that thing about Primus. So
okay,
yep, that was the only new thing. So
cool.
yep.
All right. Well, I guess we will move into our hitting the road segment here, and
Yeah.
I will open it up. I do have a festival announcement. So
Cool.
Hellfest Open Air will take place between June 19th and 22nd in Clisson, France, and the whole lineup features a whopping 184 bands, which I probably will not tell you all of those right now, so but I will shorten it. I trust you. The headliners are Korn, Muse, Scorpions, and Linkin Park, with support bands like Lindemann, The Who, Satchve featuring Steve Vai and Joe Satriani, and that would be a cool ass shit just to see those dual guitars up there.
Yeah, I mean, good lord. Yeah.
And Cypress Hill, and hey, I'll be the first to tell you I'm a metal fan by heart, but love me some Cypress Hill. There's always a very special guest to be announced for a later date for the June 20th show, so stay tuned for that. Tickets are available now, so if you want to pick those up, and I'm gonna blow this up just a little bit because it is kind of. I need to rearrange my desk where my monitor is facing a little bit more straight because right now it's angle and it's hard to get it all. So we do have Korn, Lindemann, Airborne, Apocalyptica, Skindred, Muse, The Who, The Cult. No, I ain't heard that in a while. That's crazy. Let's see, Scorpions, the George Satriani band. We just talked about that. Miles Kennedy, Linkin Park, Cypress Hill, Refused, Eagles of Death Metal. I haven't heard that name in a while either. So we have Fallen in Reverse, A Day to Remember, Motionless in White, Lorna Shore. Let's see, Not Loose, Walls of Jericho, Guilt Trip, Jerry Cantrell, Health. Let's see, Death Clock. Oh, Death Clock's going to be there. Cool.
Oh, see, that'd be neat.
Unleashed, Cattle Decapitation, Signs of the Swarm, The Covenant, Unto Others. Let's see, Death Haven, Bathory, Leprous, The Ocean, Russian Circles, Turnstile, Defeater, Terror, Stick to Your Guns. Let's see, Sabotage is on that bill. I forgot about that. Judas Priest, Dream Theater. You got Judas Priest, Dream Theater, and Sabotage on the same day, dude. That's fucking amazing.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts. Majestica is actually on that day as well. Then you know, like I said, you had the Scorpions. They actually have the Scorpions on that same day too. So Judas Priest Judas Priest is on one stage headlining, and Scorpions is on the main stage headlining. That's wild. Then you got Within Temptation, Epica, Spirit Box, Kitty. Actually, that's one band I hope comes here next year because I would love to see Kitty one time.
Mm-hmm.
Sex Pistols, The Damned, Pentagram, Masters of Reality. I haven't heard that in a while either. Damn. Exodus, Sacred Reich. Exodus and Sacred Reich's on the same day. That's pretty cool.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think they're actually touring together next year. I think I've seen that.
Where that'd be all right.
Yeah, Exodus and Sacred Reich's actually going to tour together next year. So whether it comes here or not, it's a different story. But,
probably not, but
yeah. And you got Windrose. Let's see. Like some of these are in their font, so I can't really tell what it is. So,
right.
Ginger, Whitechapel, Fit for an Autopsy. What is that one? I don't know what that one is either. The Helicopters. That's pretty cool. I think we're still doing shit. Electric Cowboy. Malevolence, Kim Dracula. So yeah, that's just to name a few. Like I said, I'm not going through 184 bands, but that's some of the bigger names that's on that bill. That's a hell of a lineup. Like people were bitching about that lineup because bands like the Muse and people like that was in it. But to me, it's like people's got to understand. Like most of these bands are having to plan a year in advance. So, not knowing if they're going to be asked to be on Hellfest, they probably already booked shows for that day. You know what I mean? So, Hellfest probably reached out and said, "Hey, can you do this?" No, man, we're already booked. So, I mean, once you get to that point, you're going to have to fill it in with somebody. I mean, and Muse is a big name. Don't get me wrong, not in the metal industry, but I mean, they are a big name. So, So
but hell, just go see another band while Muse is playing.
well, I mean, they're the headliner, so you can leave. I mean, that's the point.
There's that too. That too.
So I mean, that's the point. It's like, I mean, they're the headliner, you can leave. So
Yep.
I
Head for
think
the curtain.
I just think most people like when you see that festival, there are like that festival is usually so stacked. It's like you can't walk away from it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's so stacked. But now people's like, oh well, Lincoln Park shouldn't be on there, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, probably not. But you don't know what the festival organizers had to go through to get what they had to get. So,
True.
you
I
know,
mean,
so
I
kind of,
could
I
personally,
don't.
I could take Lincoln. I could take it or leave it. I don't really care. I mean, that's fine. But before I get into my part, there was one thing that I actually just found that we neglected to mention.
Oh yeah.
With Nico McBrain stepping down
Oh yeah,
as the
yeah. That's
drummer
right. That's right.
for Iron Maiden, Simon Dawson from British Lion is actually going to be taking his
Yep.
place. And Simon Dawson actually, uh, does play in British Lion with Steve Harris, so there's some familiarity there. But yeah,
Right.
I'm kind of kicking myself that we didn't mention that before then. But yeah, so Nico's moving on, and Simon Dawson is stepping in to take over. So yeah, I completely forgot all about that, and I just happened to just click on one of my other news outlets and saw this. Like, oh shit, we should at least mention it for crying out loud.
Yeah,
Uh,
I meant to put that in my what you call it the headlines, and I
yeah.
didn't. So
So there we go. There's one more headline for you guys. So all right. My contribution for hitting the road for the week of December 14th through the 20th, starting off at the PRP. Dying Fetus, Cradle of Filth, Flesh God Apocalypse, and Nay Obliviscaris are going out with Undeath, Vomit Forth, and Corpse Pile sharing duty as openers on a alternating basis. Starting April 17th, 2025 in Berkeley, California at the UC Theater, finishing May 14th in Denver, Colorado at the Fillmore Auditorium. They'll be in Nashville on April 29th at the Brooklyn Bowl. Kylesa has announced a European and UK reunion tour with more dates possibly to follow, starting April 17th in Tilburg, Netherlands at the Roadburn Festival, finishing August 13th through the 17th in Bristol, England at the Fernhill Farm for the Arctangent Festival. Cavalera, Necrot, and Dead Heat are going on a U.S. tour starting February 19th in Cottonwood, Arizona at the Queen Bee Vinyl Cafe. Necrot will not be at the first show on that tour. The tour will finish March 30th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Van Buren. Whitechapel, Brand of Sacrifice, 200 Stab Wounds, and Alluvial are going on a North American tour starting March 18th in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Ritz, finishing April 19th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade at the Heaven part. Oddly enough, Whitechapel isn't playing Knoxville, which is weird, but
yeah, that's kind of weird.
yeah, it's kind of weird. System of a Down
At least they are back touring. I mean, that's kind of good, I guess, because
yeah, that is
the singer had that mental breakdown, so
yeah.
it's kind of good to see him.
Yeah, so it is good to see that they have those shows booked, which is nice. But it's not until March, so I mean he's got some time to kind of relax and recover, and get his mind right, which is important. System of a Down has announced a South American tour starting April 24th in Bogota, Colombia at the Estadio Nemesio Camacho El Campín, finishing May 10th in Sao Paulo, Brazil at the Alliance Parque. In Flames and Unearthed, they have announced a trio of Pacific Northwest shows, April 1st in Vancouver at the Commodore Ballroom, April 2nd in Seattle at the Neptune Theater, and April 3rd in Portland, Oregon at the Roseland Theater. Caliban, In Heart's Wake, Cabal, and Assemble the Chariots are going to Europe and to the UK starting April 27th in Karlsruhe, Germany at the Substage, finishing May 18th in Cologne, Germany at Essig Fabric. The Fall of Troy, A Lot Like Birds, and Closure in Moscow are going on a U.S. tour starting May 1st in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma at 89th Street, finishing March 18th and May 18th, in Denver, Colorado at the Oriental Theater. Mayhem, Mortis, Imperial Triumphant, and New Skeletal Faces are going on the Decibel Magazine tour starting March 17th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade Heaven. Finishing April 17th in Austin, Texas at Mohawk. They'll be in Nashville on March 18th at Brooklyn Bowl. Arch Enemy, Fit for an Autopsy, Based, and Thrown into Exile, as Jason mentioned, are going on a North American tour starting April 14th in San Diego, California at the Observatory North Park, finishing May 18th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Milwaukee Metal Fest. Unfortunately, they're not going to be anywhere around here. Alcest, Mono, and Kalen Mikla are going on a North American tour starting February 19th in Boston, Massachusetts at the Royale, finishing March 23rd in Brooklyn, New York at Warsaw. Fozzy Liliac and the Nocturnal Affair are going on a U.S. tour starting April 17th in Springfield, Missouri at the Riff, finishing May 12th in Wyandotte, Michigan at District 142. Fear Factory and Kerry King have announced a couple of UK shows, August 12th in Manchester, England at the Academy 2, and August 13th in Bristol, England at SWX. Kim Dracula, Hanabi, Crystal Lake, and Ko Nashi are going on a North American tour starting March 5th in Montreal, Quebec at M. Telus, finishing April 12th in Sacramento, California at the Ace of Spades. Crystal Lake will not be at that show. They will be in Nashville March 25th at Marathon Music Works. Ice Nine Kills is going on a The Silver Screamathon 2-night tour with the openers pending, starting April 30th and May 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Ritz, finishing June 11th and 12th in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at the House of Blues. They will be doing one full album one night, one full album the second night. Hollywood Undead, Tech Nine, Set It Off, and 0936 are going on a North American tour starting April 6th in Reno, Nevada at the Grand Sierra Resort, finishing May 9th in Sayreville, New Jersey at the Starland Ballroom. Static X, Guar, Dope, and A Killer's Confession are going on a North American tour starting May 23rd in Tucson, Arizona at the Rialto Theater. Guar will not be at that first show, finishing June 18th in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma at the Criterion. Gorilla Biscuits have announced some European dates starting June 20th in Saarbrücken, Germany at Garage, finishing June 29th in Tabor, Czechia at the Might Sounds Festival. And lastly, over at metalinjection.net, Traders, Crown Magnetar, and Yosemite and Black are going on a North American tour starting March 6th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Altar, finishing April 20th in Tampa, Florida at the Orpheum. The only Tennessee date is March 7th in Memphis at Growlers. That's hitting the road for the 14th through the 20th.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so let me see here. We pull this up before we get going here. Well, we didn't have one last week, but it's all right. Let's try this.
The weekly playlist.
Yeah, sure, the weekly playlist. Sure.
No theme of the week last week.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking we had one. I was like, oh, theme of the week. I was like, oh no, we didn't have one.
But the one we had from the week before, our personal favorites playlist, has ballooned up to over 6 hours. If you want to listen to that one,
yeah, I've seen that. So
yeah,
well, thanks to your daughter. So
yeah, thanks to Kayla, and our good buddy Victor added a couple of.
Did he? Okay,
he added a couple of his favorite songs too. But yeah, that sucker is up over. I think that thing's up to like 70 some odd songs, and it's about 6.5 hours. So yeah, that'll
long road trip. There you go.
Yeah, that one will fill up some time, so that's good. But
so there's the playlist for this week. For if you want to hear some new metal, that's probably and maybe our last one. I don't know yet. So kind of depending on what comes out in the next couple of weeks. It's real short, so I don't think I can get 30 songs out of it. So I may wait and do two together.
I was going to make that suggestion. Yeah, it's a good idea.
I'll see what happens. So, like I said, I'll put what I can on there for next week and see where it lands me. And if it's not enough, then I'll wait till the following week and just add to it and make one final hoorah there. So, which is going to wind up being pretty cool because it's at 49 out of 52 weeks right now. So we've been pretty steady with that, even you know, being gone. I think the two that I didn't do is when I was sick, or with my surgery because I couldn't do shit then. So
that's understandable.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much why. So all right, this theme of the week this week, we went with start and stop. Kind of wanted to do this thing because we're stopping on a year and going and starting a new one. So it's I feel like it was kind of fitting.
I thought we did stop and go.
Oh, is it stop and go?
Let me go back to our text thread because I thought it was stop and go.
I thought stop and go was the one we did before.
No, we did start stop, I think. Oh shit! Hang on.
Did I do this backwards?
Hang on. Hold on. Shit. Hold on. Where was it? Hang on.
Oh, stop and go. Oh, it was. It was stop and go. We did
Yeah.
start and stop. Oh my god, I did do that again. I'll be damned. Oh my god.
I did go. So I mean,
Well, there you go. So anyway, you go with go, and then I'll add stop to it later, I guess.
okay, all right.
uh,
For the I actually already have the I've actually got the playlist
Jesus
built
Christ,
already
I can't
too.
believe I did that. Can't believe I did that.
So um, so I'll go ahead and send it to you. That's fine.
Well, yeah, I can with everything that's been going on this week. I can
Yeah,
definitely
so that's fine.
definitely understand that. So,
Yeah. All
there's
right. So my part
hang
for
on. So
the
I'm gonna
go
change
part.
this. And,
So I did have go,
damn.
and starting off, I went with "Go Forth and Die" by Death Clock off the Death album from 2007. Then I had "The Hope Is Gone" by Angela Sapotrita off the Call from 2012. Then I had "Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away" by Motley Crue off Dr. Feelgood from 1989. Then I had "Go to Hell" by Megadeth off their Hidden Treasures B-sides kind of compilation album from 1995. Then I had "Let You Go" by All That Remains. It is the first single off of their Anti-Fragile album that comes out next year, but I listened to it the other day and it's really, really good. It's actually one of the best All That Remains songs I've heard in a while. Then I had "Before I Go" by Dee Snider off Leave a Scar from 2021. Then I had "Going, Going, Gone" by Exodus off Shovel Headed Kill Machine
Bro,
from 2005. Then I had "Going Hunting" by Avatar off the EP of the same name from earlier this year. "All
yeah.
Hope Is Gone" by Slipknot from the album of the same name from 2008. "Gone Forever" by God Forbid off the album of the same name from 2004. Then they had "We Go Down" by Primal Fear off of Black Sun from 2002. "Let Go of My World" from Testament off The Ritual from 1992. "Youth Gone Wild" by Skid Row off their debut album, self-titled, from 1989. "Until the World Goes Cold" by Trivium off Silence in the Snow from 2015. "Gone Too Far" from our friends at Contortion off of United Zombie Nations from 2017. "Future Age Is Gone" by Warbringer off Worlds Torn Asunder from 2011. "Yesterday Is Dead and Gone" by Arch Enemy off Chaos Legions from 2011. "Dead and Gone" by Shadows Fall from Retribution 2009. "Leave No Soul" by Hatchet off of their EP of the same name from earlier this year. Actually, I think it was from like a couple months ago, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then lastly, I had "Leave This World Behind" by Creator off of their Outcast album from 1997. So that was my 20. Like I say, I already have it built. I'll send it to you. You can add what you need to add.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I can't believe I did that. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta start paying more attention to that.
You
Like
got
I guess I just seen the second one where I told you that we did start and stop, and I was like, oh, okay, it's start and stop. Like nope, we've already did that one. Like ah shit.
yeah.
So stop and go is what we're doing. And honestly, back when we did the start and stop, we were doing both of us was doing
Right. Yeah.
the same playlist. We weren't
Yeah.
separating it, so
Yeah.
at least this way we'll have some different stuff on there. So
Absolutely.
and that was I think that was like a couple years old too because I think it was one of the first couple. It's like it was the first five that we had done. I think it
Yeah.
was that.
Let me
So
see if I can.
it was way back there. So
Yeah. I guess. Let's see if I can find it. Of course, I don't even know. Let's see. But yeah, that was. Oh yeah, God, it was shit.
yeah, it was way back there. So.
Yeah, and it only has 17 songs on it.
Yeah. So we didn't even
So
have
I mean, yeah,
the full thing going there. So
yeah. So
all
and like
right,
I
well,
wish it had the date on it, but it doesn't. It doesn't have like the date that we created it, which sucks. I wish
right.
it did, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
But looking at it, let's see. Well, looking back at it, it was at least midway through 2022. So yeah, that playlist is at least a couple years old and only has 17 songs on it. So
Hmm.
so it's kind of time to do an update anyway. So it'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we'll figure it out. So,
Oh yeah, it'll be fine.
yeah. So, like I said, I just put like 5 on here already, just off the top of my head.
Well, there you
So
go.
it's not gonna be hard. So,
Yeah.
all right, we will kick into our album reviews this week then. So, see how competent I am with that. So, uh, it's like, oh, this guy just said, "Fuck it, it's the last show. Who gives a shit?" Oh man. This week my album review comes from a band called Pandemic. The album was Phantoms. They're a thrash metal band formed in 2015 and hailing from Krakow,
Krakow,
Poland.
Poland.
Krakow, Poland. Yeah. So,
Krakow. Yeah.
and I don't know, like, if like if the actual, I know, like, a lot of times in Germany, like, the W's will be V sounds. So I'm not sure if that works in Poland too or not. But
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I actually I was looking that up earlier and I forgot. Uh, let's see. So let's try to see. So it's French, Spanish, Italian, Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish where they do that. So, um, yeah. So it doesn't say Polish, but I guess that didn't mean anything. Hmm. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know Germany does that. I know Germany does that because I had somebody
Yeah.
from there here, and I was talking about a BMW, and they said, "No, it's a BMW." I said, "What do you fucking mean a BMW? It's a fucking W." It's like they were just like, "Yeah,
Well,
but
the funny
we
well,
say
well
V, we say our W's with V's there." I'm like,
yeah.
"What?"
Well, the funny thing is BMW actually stands for Bavaria Motor Works, but they just
Right,
but they do say Bavaria Motor Works, but so I mean it is, but
perks, yeah. So
but
I don't know. Who knows, man? Like, I'm just gonna do it the way I'm supposed to do it.
yeah.
So anyway, the current members of the band are Marcin Konitsi, Nitsny. Golly, that's a oof, that's a good one. I have to show you that name. Yeah, that's on
I'll
guitar
look it up.
on
I'll look it
guitars,
up.
and then I had the reason I asked this because this says Victor, and I said, well, I wonder if it's actually Victor. You know what I mean? So, I'll just say it like it sounds, Victor. Victor Lobarzewski, which is guitars, which you got to have a ski in there if you're in Poland. So, uh,
You kind of do, yeah.
then you got Nuko. I don't know. It's Gniewko. That's kind of a weird. I don't know.
Hmm.
Nayuko, maybe Nayuko. I don't know. They got Mara in quotation, so I'm gonna call him Mara. Mara
There
Jusky on vocals and bass. Then you got Phil Bagg on drums, and he's the last person to join the band in 22. So,
hmm.
he's the new guy there. So, this is the band's second full length album, 8 songs, 37:28 in length. And if you put that together, you kind of like automatically can tell that's an old school, thrash feel there. If not many songs, about 35, 37 minutes long, which we've talked about that before in the past with thrash bands on here. That they say that's still the kind of standard with stuff, is like they try to stick with that. Um, so lots of thrash aspects about this one, old school thrash. Sound, very fast paced as you would expect, of course. So the vocals aren't really anything spectacular that sticks out. I mean, when I say that, I don't mean like they're horrible. I just say there's not like a lot of valleys or any range testing with it or anything like it. It's just
Oh, okay.
it's just out there. It's a typical thrash sounding record. So. Guitars are great though. If you could expect, with thrash, there's a lot of good solos in there, a lot of good lead-ins. It sounds like, and actually, it sounds like the two guitarists are kind of like dueling at some points in there,
Oh,
which
I
is
like that.
oh, it's awesome, dude.
I like
I
that.
was listening, I was like, oh, this is great right here. They ain't got to play nothing. They ain't got to say nothing, man. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
uh, but drumming was sticking to that old school thrash mentality as well. Not a lot of double bassing and stuff like that going on. Just kind of sticking to the basics. So I guess I would say, I guess I should say this. It's not a bad album whatsoever. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there wasn't anything that kind of made it stick out. I guess when I talk about this, I'm trying to like say this in a way to where I'm comparing it to what's been out this year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's nothing that's going to say, hey, this should be in your top 10. You know, it's like nothing sticks out to me saying that. Not saying it's a bad record. There's just nothing that sticks out to make it, as good as some of the stuff I've heard this year. So,
Yeah.
so I get, this is it sounded like I would expected it to sound. I guess is what I should
Yeah.
say. It wasn't anything surprising about it when I listened to it. I said this is definitely a thrash record. Definitely what I expected. And that's not saying anything negative. That's disappointing or anything. It's just not anything that I would you know would say made it. You know, I don't know.
That made it stand out head and
Exactly.
shoulders above the rest. Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna give it 3.5 horns. I think it's a good listen. I think you definitely should check it out, man.
I
They're
will.
a really
Yeah.
good band.
I
And
like
like I
that.
said, if you like those old school Slayer and
Oh yeah.
Anthrax albums and stuff, I mean, you'll dig it. So,
Absolutely.
yes.
All right. Well, my album review this week is the brand new album "Path to Oblivion" by Epitaph. They are a doom metal band formed in Verona, Italy, in 1988. Their lyrical themes are evil, darkness, occultism, insanity, death, ancient rituals, damnation, and sin. Their current label is My Kingdom Music. They are a quartet consisting of Mauro Tolini on drums, Nicola Murari on guitar and bass, Lorenzo Loatelli on guitar, and Ricky Dalpain on vocals. Mauro and Nicola are the only two original members. A little bit of interesting history with this band. They formed in 1988. But broke up I don't know if they technically broke up, but they went on hiatus in 1994. They didn't put out an LP until 2014, even though they reformed in 2007.
Wow. Okay.
So very very strange how that worked out. Let me take a quick because I am not 100% sure about their not 100% sure about any EPs. Let me look at that real quick. Hold on. Let's see their discography. I mean, they formed in 1988. They had they had demos in 88, 92, and 94. Then they went on hiatus and then didn't reform until 2007, and then it took them 7 years after that to come out with their debut album in 2014.
Wow.
So it's weird. They've been a band since 1988. They've only had 3 albums, and those 3 albums only came out in the last 10 years. So very very interesting life for this band. It's kind of
Hmm.
interesting. Now I will say this. Like I said, this is their 3rd album. Their debut album, "Crawling Out of the Crypt," came out in 2014. "Claws" in 17, and "Path to Oblivion" 2024. I will say this: I don't usually do a lot of doom metal because I tend to get a little bored with it
Hmm.
because a lot
It
of
puts,
doom,
I have had it put me to sleep. So.
yeah, doom metal kind of bores me a little bit sometimes. Some of the bands that I've heard, but I will say this is probably the best doom metal album I've heard in quite a while. It's 8 tracks long, 41 minutes and 1 second. The downside to that is track number 1 and track number 5 are both instrumentals. Track number 1 is the actual title track, and it's an instrumental that's kind of an intro lead into the second track, which is a little strange for the title track to just be such a short instrumental intro. It's kind of weird. It did flow into the second track, but considering that there's a 7.5 minute and a 7 minute and 10 second track on this album, you could have just put the two together, and I would have been fine with
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Because obviously track length, you weren't super duper concerned about it. So I don't know. That's just kind of one of these instances where it really would have made sense to just have 7 tracks, but one thing that I did like about it is there's actually some variances in tempo on this album that I wasn't expecting. with it being a doom metal band, because a lot of the doom metal I've heard, they pick a tempo and that's the only tempo you get, and they don't, there's no deviation, there's no
Right.
diversity in that tempo, and it can get monotonous because it
Yeah.
is. It's just monotone. It's the same thing all the way through. So that was one thing that I did like. Ricky Del Payne, he sings completely clean all the way through. He sounds a lot like Warrell Dane from Nevermore, how he used to before he passed away. And
Okay.
and I will say this: if you ask this band if they're influenced by Black Sabbath, and they say no, they're fucking lying.
They're fucking lying.
They're fucking lying. There's no way in hell this band is not influenced by Black Sabbath. There's no way in hell. So it's kind of it's so there's a little bit of Black Sabbath meets Nevermore, which makes for an interesting combination, because like I say, there was a little bit more diversity and tempo than I was expecting. Uh, it actually had a little bit of groove to it at certain points. A little bit of that Black Sabbath grooves sprinkled in there, but it's dark and ominous all the way through. So I mean, it definitely doesn't lose any of that imagery. I can't remember the name of the song because, like I say, if you guys have listened to or watched the show enough, you've heard me say that I listen to these albums on my commute back and forth to work. So there are times where I try to make notes, but I can't always do it because I'm driving. There was one thing that really annoyed me about this album, but it only happened on one song, and I can't remember the song. Where the bass drum sounded like they were using a fucking wet mop head to I don't know what song it was, but it stuck out to me like a sore thumb on whichever song it was, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" So, you know, but the guitar solos were they weren't present in every song, but they were there sporadically. They were actually decent. They were actually decent for doom metal. A lot of doom metal guitar solos are kind of bare bones, not really super duper intricate. But I mean, they were fine for what they were. Um, this is another one. It's funny what you said about your album, because this one kind of does the same thing for me, even though it is a better Doom album than some of the ones I've listened to. There still wasn't anything that jumped out at me so well that it lends itself to sticking out. So I'm gonna do the same as you. I did enjoy it. I listened to it all the way through twice, and I did enjoy it. But I'm gonna give it 3.5 horns too. So it
Okay,
might
cool.
be one that you may want to check out too. It's a
All
quick
right.
listen. That 41 minutes goes by relatively quickly. So
Yeah. There was that one and that other one I was telling you about that I was going to check out because I figured those two would be one of the. I said, oh, one of those one of the he's going to pick one of those because I feel like those kind of like the singles anyway. Like I did not. So from the single that I put on the playlist from that band, it was you did the one you told me, right?
Epitaph, I
The
did that one.
Oh, that's right. You did Epitaph. Never mind. I'm thinking about the week before. That's what I'm doing. Never mind. Never mind. You're good. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking about the week before when you did the
Yeah, I did Reviver last week.
Reviver because Reviver and Magic Kingdom was both right there, and I said, oh, he's going to do one of those because they were both
Yeah.
they were in the same realm of music. So, which you need to go back and listen to that one and let me know what you thought about that one too, that Magic Kingdom album. So,
Oh man, let me make a note of it. Yeah,
yeah, because that one was kind of in your realm of the
the power metal.
symphonic metal and power metal. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Because I always like to hear what you think about this because you're into it more than I am.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you liked it, then it was probably better than I thought it was. So
Okay. All right. Well, shit. Yeah.
because I mean it's a
Yeah.
fair
No
shake. Because
pressure. No pressure.
well, no. I'm just saying like because I'm not as big a fan as you, so I don't think I give
Nah,
it
you're fine.
a fair listen a lot of times, and I'm just
Yeah.
like I just like to hear people's like it was great because that's exactly what I would expect from that, or or you're better at picking out those things with the symphonic stuff than I am.
Yeah. Okay.
I just like you hear shit sometimes with that stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck's he talking about? I don't fucking hear that. Like, damn, he's got fucking ears for like a coon dog, man. So, hearing that shit. Uh, but, uh, but yeah, so. All right. Anyway, so I get you want to run down next week's stuff while we're still talking about that, so we can.
Yeah, I mean this one's not gonna this
It's a
one
little
won't take.
short. It's short, I think. So.
Yeah, this one's not going to take too long at all. But there'll still be plenty of stuff for the two of us to pick out. And even though I
Oh
will,
yeah.
even though I will be in Michigan next week, I will still have time to listen to something. We'll do write up album reviews.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so looking forward to next Friday, December 27th. Starting off with Six Deep with Dead in Five. That's an EP. We have Jesus Christ. We have Einsamkeit with Was des Lebens
Bless
nicht
you.
wird. So yeah, I know, right? That's my very very poor attempt at German. So I hope I
Oh
didn't do
man.
too bad. Then we have Antumbra with Days of Future Ravaged Lands, The Black Wall with spooky tunes and haunting stories. Blade. We have Blazemph with Gehenna, Box with Born to Crawl. That's an EP. We have CMPT with Na Utrini, Dominum with The Dead Don't Die, Druparia with The River Above, Final Siege with Nuclear Doom State, Genocide Commando with Third World War. We have Nep- uh, Nepalahan with Folkstorm, Lament in Winter's Night with Whereunto the Twilight Leads. Whereunto, you don't hear that one too often anymore.
No.
Yeah. Then we have Mocked Clang with a self-titled album. Thank God I don't have to say that twice. Mavarim with In Omnia Paratus. Nefarious Dusk with Death Beneath a Starless Sky. Order of Nosferat with Towards the Night Realm of Orlok. We have Ralbine with Adrenaline. Ulfar with Fornitus Foam. The Veer Union with Welcome to Dystopia. Void Words with Balgolnik. And the Spolak with Mert Vozem. So that's it. Those are the albums for next Friday. Hell, January 3rd, there's only 8 listed right now. January 3rd only
Man.
has 3.
Yeah. Well, luckily that day is gonna not gonna get much attention based on anything new anyway. It's gonna be
Right.
more. It's gonna be more of
Recap.
recap from 2024. So
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, as I don't have anything to show you number wise, right? Because I still couldn't get that shit figured out right now. I don't know what's going on with that. But I do want to go down the list and say thanks to all of our guests this year, man.
Oh
It's
Lord,
been a good
yeah.
one. Like we keep increasing these guests every year, and I think that's a great thing. I don't ever get too carried away with it because at some point you'll get there and it's like that's all you're going to be doing anyway. So I mean, and that's fine. You know, I tend to like as long as I'm increasing each year and we're increasing that because
Yep.
that's to me that's increasing the number of bands that you guys are getting turned on to, which is our whole goal. Uh,
Yep.
so so yeah this year had a lot of firsts. You know, we had you know our first band from India. We had
Yep.
our first band from Spain, right? From South America. We had a first South America band too, right?
Yes, we went with Royal Rage was our first Brazilian band.
Right, Brazilian band, yeah. So,
Yep.
and then of course we had our first two-peat in the same year. So, we had Rick Jimenez was on here
Yep.
twice from Extinction AD. He was our first repeat in the same year and our first three-peat guest.
Yep. Yep.
He was
Rick Jimenez scored the first Metalheads Unite hat trick. So
yeah, he did, yeah. So,
yes, he did.
so, and then also we had a lot of returns this year. From previous years, which is cool. So just to run down this, just want to thank Rick Jimenez, of course, from Extinction AD, and Phil, Sam, and Dean from Hero and the Horror. Cody, Jaden, and Daniel from Ancient Remains. We had Lassie Landstrom from Never Fade. Of course, he's become a big follower of the show, and he
Yes.
shares stuff with us all the time. We appreciate that. We had Joe Calderon from Lightworker, Kobe and Keegan from Halo Scars earlier in the year because
Hmm.
they're the only two that could have been on at that time, which is cool. I think at that time Daniel was having twins and stuff like
Yeah.
that, so he didn't get
Yeah.
on, and then Jason was out doing some other stuff too. So, but we did get or was that the only time we interviewed him this year? I guess it was. I thought we interviewed him twice too, but I guess not. And then we had Andres Sigurdsson from Duff, Skylar Gratz from Broken Side, of course Dana from Metalheads was on the show a couple times this year.
Yeah, he was.
So then we had Alec, Toby, Tyler, and Brett from Bleed the Victim, which those guys were fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I would love to interview those guys again, dude. And they were down for it. I mean, they were Russian, or they were what they call it. They were musical chair pissing. That was funny as hell.
That's right.
Were,
Yeah. Yeah. Each one of them at some point got up to take a leak.
they were taking turns to go.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. If I think if they're, I mean, everyone we've interviewed has always said that they would love to come back, and I absolutely believe them. I think everybody we interviewed,
yeah.
I think everyone we interviewed would come back on the show, but I think those guys would literally in a heartbeat come back on the show.
Oh yeah, they emailed me like 2 or 3 times after the fact and was just like, yeah, dude, it's like, and I sent them the link for the Spotify. And, oh yeah, it's kick ass. And I think they even shared it on their page and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Then we had Ari Catapelto from the Reality Machine. That was probably one of my favorite interviews this year because of the knowledge that he shared with being a musical teacher on top of doing this.
That's his job.
It was really
it was very educational.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I mean, if you got to check, I tell somebody all the time. They say, well, if you got one show for me to turn on to your podcast, what would you give me? And I say, check out the Ari Colapelto show, man. Dude knows what he's talking about. So, not saying nobody else did, but I'm just saying, dude's got bukus of knowledge with this stuff, man. It's amazing what he can do by himself. So, then we had Brian Amoroso from the Dude. Good man, that guy was awesome too. I love even though we had to make him put on pants and come back on the show, but
that's right. I forgot about that.
So this is the thing, is like we've always created memories with these guys.
Oh God, I forgot about
there's
that.
always something. Yeah, there's always something that we're going to remember from these things, and I think that's awesome. Then of course we had the previously mentioned Pedro Ferreira from Royal Rage. Then we had Shashank Venkat from Against Evil. We had Rick Jimenez again from Station AD, and Carolina and Alex from Never Obey Again. That was a really good interview. That we found out that chicken fettuccine is not Italian, so
that actually kind of like that kind of shook me a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, man, this interview's over. I'm just kidding. So I think that's probably one of the fastest rising bands I've seen on this show. Like, I think they literally jumped 2,000 fucking followers on Spotify from the time I booked it to the time they come on here, which was something unreal to me. I'm just like, damn, how did you do that? And they just have a big following, dude. That's awesome that they do, especially with the scene there. The way they say it is it's amazing that they can do that. So. Then of course we had James Gates from Salem's Child, Mike Decker from Born Broken, Shane Trimble from High Reaper, and then we had Dana from Metal and Test, along with Noah, William, Brody, and Gabe from No Connection. Which I want to say this right now. I just got some new Wi-Fi, and that's my my Wi-Fi's name, No Connection. So thanks to those guys. So I figured, hey, I put that on there. Nobody's going to try to link to it. So
there you go.
And then, of course, a good friend Malachi shared his stories from music and being a veteran of the military. So really good stuff. Dieter Whitbecker from Pyracanda, and then last week we had Fabio Calori from Die for My Sins on the show, which was a great interview, man. Mm-hmm. I was really that was a really, like, I feel like all of it's kind of informational to me, because a lot of the stuff that in other countries especially we don't know. But yeah, so hearing a band. Hearing from a band that's coming up in Italy and hearing from a band that's been around in Italy, saying some of the same things kind of makes you like, wow, the scene's really crazy over there. You know, it's wild how they have to go to like different pretty much damn different countries to perform. So
Yeah, well, and in Fabio's situation, they're down in the like he said, they're in down in the
oh yeah, they're
southern
way
hemisphere.
down, so it's even
So
harder for them. So
they got to go even. They have to go even further.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, but just want to thank those guys. I think that was like 23 this year. We was like 19. We started out we had 12, then we went to 19, and then I think this year was 23.
Yeah, yeah. We had what was it? We had an 8 week run where we had guests eight
Yeah,
weeks
yeah,
in
we
a
had an
row.
8 week run. Yeah, we had guests every week, so which was great.
That was
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So
It was
the
awesome.
only thing that every year I just plan on doing things bigger and better. So stick with us. There's a lot of good stuff coming. I promise. Even though I've been promising stuff all year and it's kind of been delayed, that's okay. So to me, like t-shirts are almost there. I promise you. I've been working on this stuff for 6 months, and it's a thing you have to get the niche down perfect. And I don't want to give crappy stuff out. You know what I mean?
No,
If you're paying for something, I want it to be good. I want it to last. That kind of thing. So it's a learning experience for me, and eventually I'll be able to do this stuff in my sleep probably. So uh, so
probably.
yeah, and then of course we got big things coming next year. The thing that I'm going to focus on next year for everyone is the website. That's the thing I really want to get up and going. I got the domain done. I got the materials and stuff to build it. Just having the time, I haven't really had the time. So hopefully
I
I'll.
mean, that's really the biggest thing.
It
I
is
mean,
because, like I said, we work 9 to 5s. I mean, and we
yeah. I
have
mean,
we have
this.
we have we have a life. So
Yes.
um,
What you see on this show. I mean, we are it.
yeah.
I
So
mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we have support of our loved ones and everything. I mean,
right, right, right.
our wives have been super duper patient with us with this shit. But I
Yes.
mean, yeah, but I mean, this show is the two of us, and that's
Mhm.
what it is. So and that's another reason why to me, like like everybody who came on the show this year. I mean, these guys and girls. I mean, these people are working hard at what they do to put out the content that they love, and we're doing the same thing with this show. It's still, I know I keep bringing it up, but it still just boggles my mind that we're about to finish our fourth year, starting our fifth year, and the fact that people have started to find us
It's
is
crazy.
crazy.
We got
Uh,
what we got what three at least three record labels that send us stuff all the
yeah.
time.
So I mean,
So
so I
that's
mean, we
cool.
Yeah, so we're actually starting to kind of, and we've made friendships with almost every single one of these bands. We keep in contact with pretty much every single one of them. Obviously some more than others, but I mean that
Well, yeah,
just
because I mean, like I got Kobe Def's phone in my, I got his phone
yeah.
number in my
So
phone. So I mean,
so I
it's
mean yeah. So
uh,
so we do the best we can to. I mean, every band that's come on the show, we do follow them on social media. Some bands are more active than others. I mean, that's understandable. Everyone's got shit going on, but I mean, we have built foundations with these bands. I mean, talking about bands that we've gotten really close with. I mean, we finally got to meet Vinny and Ryan from Ashes
I
Rain.
was
We actually
actually I
finally
was going
got
to
to
mention
meet them.
that. Yeah.
They
So
they they finally were able to come to the mid state, and we got to see them play live. We got to meet them. We got to hang out. We got to talk with them, and so really down to earth guys. It was very cool to hang out with. I mean, it was good to see them. They were excited to see us. I think they actually were more excited to see us than we were excited to see
I
them.
know, right? I was like,
But
you guys were putting on the show, man.
right, but I mean, but again, that makes us feel good.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, and
I think the biggest reward out of this is the bands appreciate what we're doing, and I think
yeah,
that means more to me than anything. And
yeah,
I hope everybody that listens takes something away from the shows as well. I don't want to be just a show. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I want it to be different. I want it to be something where people find a new band or people you know learn something new from stories that we share or
Yeah.
anything like that. As long as you're getting something from the show, man, that's all I care about. And it's
Yeah.
and if we want, like I said, like we said this many times, we're not doing this for money right now. If we wind up making money from it, great. I would love to make this my life and my living, but
Oh man,
it's a
it
lot
would.
of it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of
Yeah.
work. So we'll have to come across that bridge when we get there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully we get so big that we have to have 2 or 3 interviews a week. So
Oh, shit.
uh,
I mean, hell, sign me up. I mean, I'd be all
uh,
for it. You know,
so
but yeah, like Jason said at the beginning of the show. I mean, we can't thank these bands enough. It's just I am super grateful, and I am still humbled about the fact that a couple of guys in the United States, especially for the bands overseas, a couple of the
mhm.
guys from the United States who just love listening to this music. We love getting together and just talking about it, shooting the shit. You know, hey, did you hear this? Did you hear that? And it's turned into this, and the amount of bands we've talked to, and the amount of countries that we have been able to reach out to is further. It's gone further,
Mhm.
it's gone further faster than I could have imagined. I could have imagined it getting to where it's gotten, but in just 4 years, if you would have told me this back at the beginning of 21, I probably would have been like, cool, that'll be good for us to get there one day, and be like, well, it took you 4 years and you've gone to like, 4 of the 7 continents. I was like, oh shit, okay. I mean, yeah, say less. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, just super, super duper grateful and humbled by the response we've gotten, and the amount of people who have taken time out of their busy schedules. And in the case of all of our European guests, taking time out of their weekends. Because I
Right.
mean, we do our shows on Saturday morning. It's the middle of the day over there in Europe or wherever
Mhm.
they are, so they're basically having to plan one of their weekend days around coming on the show. Like I say, with just a couple of dudes from the United States.
I do. You know what? I decided. It's not done, but I'm going to share it with you guys. There you go. That's going to be the new T-shirt coming your way soon. So just
It looks so good.
yeah. So just in
Knock it
time for
off,
me to
Cat.
come up with a 2024 one. So
Right. Hell, you may,
so,
you know what? In all honesty, you may just want to make that the 2024 one at this point. You may want to.
yeah. Well, no, I gotta have one for every. Even if it's just me personally having it, I don't care. That's fine. I mean, I gotta
Yeah.
have one myself for that. So,
Well, I
uh,
would like to also. So
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
Well,
to show the progress from year 2 to year 3 to year 4, just
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
how
So,
just how big this thing just how big this thing has gotten. So
yeah. I think we're up to 630 members on our group on Facebook, which is great. I think
yeah,
I think this time last year I was like, man, I'd love to hit 500 before the end of the year, and then now we're here, you know, damn near 130 more than
yeah,
what we had at that point. So I
yeah.
think
Let's
I
see.
think actually I think we wound up with like 515 or something by this time last year or something like that.
Yeah, we are
A little bit
currently
over.
at we're currently 634 in the group, at 550 on the page.
Yeah. So
We
it's
are
a decent.
we're at 101 on TikTok. We are at 114 on Instagram. We're at 21 on X, but it's kind of like meh. It is what it is. I don't know what the numbers are on Rumble. You'll have to tell me that. I don't know what they are on Rumble.
Let's see. Let's see what this.
And let's see.
YouTube, we have 57 subscribers right now. So
That's the cat trying to get in there.
uh,
Knock it
yeah,
off.
yeah, yeah, I hear. I hear. Oh, I'm on the wrong window. Hold on. We are. Let's see.
Mr. Cat, quit it.
Let's see if Mr.
He's not.
Y'all just call it Mr. Cat.
Yeah, I just named him Mr. Cat, and it stuck. So
It's just stuck.
he just stuck.
Oh man. Oh, here we go.
He's not. He's not listening to me.
Oh, maybe
yeah, I see your hand. I see your hand under there.
So we only have 10 followers on Rumble, which was, I think that was kind of just something we started this year anyway. So
yeah, that was
I'm not sure we've been doing that very long. So
we haven't.
It's not. And then I would tell you about Spotify, but I can't get in there right now. So, so hopefully by the time we come back and do all that, I'll have all that situated, and I'll actually post up on the Metalheads. You know what? I think I may have posted that already on there. I actually may have done that.
Yeah, he is not listening to me at all.
He's not listening to you?
No, he's not listening to me at all.
I thought I shared it there, and I guess I didn't. I thought I shared it there and then shared it over to the group, but maybe I didn't.
Not that I remember seeing.
I think I was going to talk about it on the show before I did that, but let's see. That was that.
Dude, knock it off.
Well, what's he trying to get in there with you for, anyways?
I don't know. He probably wants to hop up on the desk and run right across the screen.
Anyway, so I mean, like I said, we're growing, and that's the main thing. Is as long as we're growing, so. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, that will wrap this one up for this week. Hopefully, we will see you back in 2025.
Yeah, man.
So,
starting year number 5.
Go back and check out any of our older stuff on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble. Twitch doesn't load stuff very long, so you can go there. Facebook. All those places you can go and see older stuff from Metalheads Unite. So I suggest Spotify or YouTube is usually the best ways to go about seeing or hearing anything from us. So, and of course our 24-hour radio station that I just swapped out for that. So
stream.trulyradio247.com/8008/stream.
So,
there it is. There it comes.
There it is. All right. So, 24/7 radio station there. Stream.trulyradio247.com/8008/stream. You can follow us on our socials: Facebook, X, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, and Spotify. So,
and email us at metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com.
Yes.
But right. we would be also remiss if we didn't thank everybody who's not only come on the show and talk to us, but everyone who has watched the show. Can't remember the names of everyone who's joined us in the chat, but if you've come by and watched the show, we appreciate it. If you've contributed to anything in the chat, we thank you even more. Thanks to my aunt. Thanks to Dana. Thanks to Eduardo, who has been a regular here lately. I didn't see him tonight.
Yeah, but, I didn't see him tonight. But
yeah, right. But but if you have watched the show at all, we thank you.
Yep. So hopefully you guys have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, however you say that thing. I don't know how you. I say Merry Christmas. So,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and hopefully you have a happy and safe New Year, and then we will see you back here on the 3rd with our yearly wrap up of 2024.
That's right.
Like a 2024 wrap up should be in the first week of 2025. Actually, I didn't talk about that. I had it pulled up and didn't even talk about it. I had the top 10 albums from Metal Injection had already had their top 10 album or top 20 albums listed. So I forgot to talk about that. So it's all right. We'll get it next time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the next time we'll be talking about our top 10 albums.
Well, yeah. But I'll,
But I mean, we can do a little bit of compare and contrast with some of our news outlets too. So.
Oh yeah. So. All All right, guys. Like I said, have a safe and happy holidays. Hopefully, we'll see you back here on the 3rd for that big show. Usually, it runs about 3 hours, so just be heads up. We may even back the time up a little bit or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we could do that too.
Yeah. Are you off that? Are you off that week, or are you just off
No,
the New Year's
no.
Day?
I'm
Are you
just
just
off
off?
New. Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
off. I mean, I'm gonna be in Michigan the 26th through the 31st, but I'll be back New Year's Eve.
Okay.
I have off New Year's Day, and then but
Okay. Sure.
you
Okay.
know, Friday will be a work day. But I mean, if you want to go, a little earlier, that's fine with me too. I'll be ready.
Okay. Yeah, we might do that. We may just do a 9 o'clock show. Because that way it'll carry into the 12 o'clock hour like we usually do. So.
Yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure with everything that we got going on that day, it's going to be a lot. So,
more than likely.
yeah. So we got albums, EPs, a couple other segments, and
Mm-hmm.
songs of the year. Actually, that's another thing I want to tell you about. There will be 2 playlists coming out the next couple weeks before the show. One will be is one that I decided to put together called The Guests. It's going to have a song from each one of our guests for the past 3 years.
That's a great idea.
And then I'm going to have of course, the 2024, probably the top 100 songs that I think was out in 2024. So, and then Chris can hit me up with anything that he wants to make sure it was on there. So,
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
which I always do that anyway. I always do a top 100 of the year. So,
Yep.
so
Yeah, that I remember. Yeah.
So anyway, look out for those things the next couple of weeks, and then until then, hopefully we'll see you back here on the 3rd. Until then, keep the storms out high, jump in that pit anytime you can.